Welcome, everybody, to the H3 podcast here with one of my idols, a legend, and I'm honestly so honored and happy to have you here. You guys know him. He doesn't need an introduction. Steve-O, living legend. Thanks so much, dude.
Well, thank you, bro.
God bless you.
Been looking forward to this.
Thanks, man. That actually is really awesome. We're here with Ela Klein, the original Ela Kleiner. Obviously, my phone is making noises, and that is just fucking
Put it
rude.
on mute.
So let's dive right
I am
into it.
so humiliated. Wait, 1 sec.
Mute it up.
Also, I need to whore out for 1 second.
Oh, whore
And,
away,
really,
pal.
just like 5 seconds.
Okay, cool.
So
man,
then
cool.
this goes like, and thank you to our
All
sponsors.
right,
of this-
audibles?
No audibles this time.
Oh, God
Not
damn it.
today.
Sorry, we'll get them.
I was backing that shit.
Steve has got audibles
But
back.
dude, I'm backing whatever you do,
I'm gonna be
pal.
like, I'm gonna expect a check from Audible now. Actually, our sponsors today are Quip, Wink, and Black Tux, and we'll get more into that a little bit later.
Black Tux.
Hell yeah, boy.
What about Purple Tux, though? Does Black Tux sell purple?
They do
They
actually.
do.
Yeah,
They've got
there
purple.
you
They
go.
got pink.
There you fucking go.
Yeah, they've got all the
I
colors for you.
knew
bud.
I was backing you.
So what's up, man? What have you been up to these days?
What have I been up to? I've been pretty quiet on the social media for the last week or so as I've hunkered down and worked furiously on a new video project.
Oh,
Yeah.
Teaser alert! Can we get a little sneak peek?
Yeah, well, it's a rough draft, so to speak, of what will be my next stand-up comedy special.
Oh, nice.
Which is a multimedia extravaganza
Wow,
packed
a
with
bonanza.
stunts. A bonanza, yeah.
Holy smokes!
Right, yeah. It's just that I a while back I noticed, I thought, as I was performing one night, I thought, the stories I'm telling are largely shit that happened on camera. So what if my next comedy special, if I edited in the archival footage
that's cool.
and so it's just like I went crazy about it and I've been hunkered
Oh,
down.
that's such a
So
cool.
you're
Yeah.
going back and you got like a bunch
Right, because it's the thing is that like when I'm doing the show, I'm just can't get past thinking there's just no way that anybody in the audience believes like that. Not only is what I'm saying true, but that it's actually like there's like attention to
footage of
detail
it.
of the truth.
They just can't believe it's
But
real.
I don't think anybody would because it's such outlandish shit, but it's completely true. And so then when I put this together, and I've been going through all this footage that's just never even appeared anywhere, and it's
Wow.
like and
what a great show.
right, and I'm just blown away by how much there is to back it up. And then on top of that, I've been I shouldn't probably say this because we don't have any kind of an agreement, but we've been loosely discussing the director of Jackass. Directing and producing this,
Oh my God.
and sort of doing like really heavy marquee stunts, which I would do for a Jackass 4, but there is no Jackass 4. So like I'm doing these huge like this big like things, and then we would drop them throughout the comedy special as vignettes.
So wait, so you're gonna do new stunts on video to show during the show, like
Well, to edit it, I'm going to drop in
got it.
vignettes.
Nice.
But I want to make them pertinent. Like I'll go ahead and I'll just exclusive for you.
oh,
Oh shit! Oh shit! My idea for the opening sequence of this this extravaganza, this bonanza, is have you ever seen? They've got traveling billboards, which basically it's just a flatbed truck, a big flatbed truck. In the middle of the flatbed is just a gigantic billboard.
Usually I see them saying like gays are going to hell and shit. That's usually.
I have not seen that.
Usually some nutty like.
I've not seen that. I've only seen them driving around Vegas.
Okay.
But in
Yeah,
any
I've seen
case,
those at any rate.
and they drive around and they promote whatever you want to promote. And so the idea for the opening sequence is to have one of these traveling billboards promoting the live show itself with the billboard in LA. We get up there and we just duct tape my ass to the Steve-O billboard itself.
Fucking awesome.
Duct tape me to the billboard, and once I'm properly duct taped, we get on the road and we drive
way
way
to
to
promote.
Vegas. I'm gonna be duct taped to the billboard for the entire 5-hour drive.
There's a lot of bugs on that way. my
That's
friend.
fine. Bring it.
You're
Bring
gonna
it,
be
pal.
covered in dead bugs.
Bring
and
it,
shit.
pal. Yeah, and I want to, and then as we drive down, and I picture like dope dope time lapse with like the you see it's the sun's up when we start, but the time lapse of the sun going down. At one point, like a van will pull up and be pacing alongside on the highway, and the door will slide open. We got all the jackass guys in there shooting paintball guns at me from the moving van.
Dude, this sounds epic.
They'll really pull over and pace like right next, and I want them to actually jump out of the van onto the flatbed so that they can more personally torture me as we drive down the highway. And then, of course, we'll get to Vegas. We'll go down the Sunset Strip as the opening credits. The whole opening sequence comes to, and we pull up to the theater. The show takes place in Vegas.
Oh, that's fucking great.
And so then,
wait, you're gonna do it?
I'm not gonna I mean, we'll film it separately.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I think we
come out all
film.
covered in bugs and like burned and shit.
I picture we kind of film all of the interstitial vignettes and the opening sequence, the end. Well, the end I think is going to be a really massive deal in the theater, maybe a vignette outside. But in any case, I'm just thrilled with it. I'm so excited about it.
That sounds like an absolute
awesome.
bonanza. I'm there.
It's an absolute bonanza.
We're selling that bitch out. That is going to be huge.
All of the ideas for the really big stunts are major, and even the stand up, you just can't ever be left without like mind-blowing footage that's cut into it. So
awesome.
It's just like a kind of a docu-comedy marriage of my two worlds.
It sounds really cool.
I'm
I mean,
excited.
It sounds
Thank
really
you.
creative and different
Yeah.
for a show.
Well, that's what it has to be. The world, the
Everything
world
is
is just so
changing.
saturated with comedy
It's way
specials.
too much competition. You got
There's like even Netflix.
That's
Until next year, Netflix has like a heavy hitter every week.
I've noticed
with
that.
with Dave Chappelle, you got Seinfeld, Chris Rock, all the Ellen. I mean,
Yeah.
really big ones. So I like the idea of from the director of Jackass, just crazier than the next fucking level of crazy. And really lure people in with all of the jackassery.
I'm genuinely
and win them over
excited.
when they get there with the stand-up.
Genuinely excited.
We
thank
should go
you.
to the show.
Oh shit!
I would love to
dude.
have you guys there. I fucking love it. But let's stop with all the
Well,
promotion.
no,
Oh,
this
if I
isn't
was-
promotion. This
No,
is
it's- yeah,
fascinating.
it's
Oh, okay, well,
interesting.
cool, man. I appreciate that.
I mean, like when I first met you for the first time when you came to our
Right.
house, I didn't realize that you were doing stand-up.
Yeah.
I wanna
Oh,
know
how about that?
I'm
Yeah.
curious, how's that going? Like,
It's
tell me
been
about
it's
your
been
stand-up
so
stuff.
great, man. It never occurred to me to do stand-up, even though I'm an all-around attention whore, so it makes sense.
Right. You're right.
But the first time it came up was 11 years ago, almost 11
It's been
years
brewing
ago.
for a while.
Right. It was there's a comedian named Skylar Stone, and he I didn't know who he was at the time, but he reached out to me. He said that he was hosting a show at the world famous Laugh Factory on the Sunset Strip in Hollywood, California, and would I come and get on stage during his show and perform a crazy stunt? And I thought, well, of course, I was out of my mind
What
on
were you gonna
drugs at the
do?
time.
What kind of
I didn't
stunt?
give it any thought.
You're just like, fuck it,
I was
let's
just
go.
sitting there doing drugs, and I didn't care. And I was like, oh, yeah, for sure. And I showed up. I'll just figure it out when I get there.
Right.
And when I walked into that comedy club, again, summer of 2006, I believe it was August maybe, I walked in there and I just looked at the stage and I was like, so that's what they do here. It was terrifying. And immediately it occurred to me, there's no crazier stunt than I could come up with than
this.
stand there and do that shit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And I was like, I waited for my turn to get on stage. I was sitting around, it's like, what am I going to say? And ultimately, I don't think I was on stage more than like 3 minutes. But I said a few, I remember I got on stage and I was like, hey, everybody, I'm in the mood for a blowjob. Does anybody want one?
Oh, nice. That's
Yeah.
a twist.
Yeah.
Was that a joke on the spot?
It was something that I came up with while sitting there waiting for my turn to get on
That's
stage.
some good shit. That's a nice twist. Probably got some laughs.
Hey, right, unlike Sir Lancelot.
What?
I watched The Time to
Sir
Stop Lance.
Lancelot.
Yeah, I decided to throw a twist.
Nice. Yeah, there's a twist there, but
Right, but in any case, so the overall experience was I had a real sense that people were excited to see me. They were rooting for me to do well.
yeah. How was the
Yeah.
reception in the crowd?
I was
Warm?
only on stage for a few minutes. I got a couple laughs. People were excited to see me. I felt like they were rooting for me.
That's
and I was like,
honestly-
man, this is what I wanted. I want to get into this. And I was so out of my mind on drugs. It took a while before I really got serious about it. But yeah, 2010 I dove in fully.
Oh shit! Are you serious? It's been
I dove
7
in
years.
fully. I've been touring.
Holy
I've been
smokes.
touring for almost 7
You're a
years.
seasoned
Wow.
veteran by now.
I
You
have.
feel like it?
I've made some progress. I feel like it's a little bit of an uphill battle. My reputation will never be for stand-up comedy because
Yeah.
I do all this,
Because that is
know.
You never
But with
know.
that said.
Honestly,
With that said, I come to the table with a built-in audience who's interested in,
Yeah.
and my experience is so much what drives the stand-up that it's just like, you don't have to really believe, oh, is he going to be good at stand-up? It's like, oh, that motherfucker's crazy. Let's go see what he does, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And so I think that's been, and I take it seriously. I really do care
No, I can tell.
about what I do,
Yeah.
and I keep the people laughing, and fuck, I'm super grateful for it, man. It's been going very well.
I can tell you as someone who's called me on YouTube, I dream of doing stand-up. It's something I've
You
thought
have
of.
mentioned it when you
but
had
it's-
your crisis,
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like,
which I
fuck.
feel like I was a part of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you were
you
there
were.
at ground zero.
You were.
I was a part of the crisis, and you were like, "Fuck, I
That
need to."
nuts shot was way too much for YouTube ads. When we cut your nuts off,
Right.
we
Yeah.
castrated poor Steve-O. But like the thought of going on stage is truly horrifying to me.
In the beginning, it is. In the beginning, it is. But pretty quickly, you through experience figure out what is working for you and what isn't.
Right.
And then you kind of you develop your comfort zone where even if you're trying something new and it's going terribly, you
Right.
know you've got stuff that is proven to
You've got
work.
the good material.
Yeah.
Right. So once you're into honing stuff and you've got and you've got reliable stuff that's going to go well that you can fall back on,
Cool.
it gets a lot easier to venture out of the comfort zone. Because if you're like, oh, I tried something, fuck, didn't work. Okay, and then let me bring out a hammer.
How's the feeling of like being up on stage and feeling like? Because I've heard it described as like being empowering, right? Like empowers. You
I
know, to
guess. I
get up
mean,
there
I think
and-
that the reality is that
it a
there's something dark about comedians in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like anybody who's inclined to get on stage and like just desperate for
there is.
validation and like
Definitely.
please clap for me, please. Like there's something that I think is just inherently involves self-hatred on some level that you feel like you have to get on stage and really just be so desperate for attention and approval.
I think that's a good
It's
insight.
kind of the same with art too. I feel
Right, but
like-
then again, anything. I mean, and
guess-
as a society, we've become such attention whores. I feel like I was like a little bit ahead of the curve, you know. But whatever, man. It's all good.
And touring must be pretty difficult too, right?
Oh my God.
That's got to be the worst.
Yeah.
Because we've thought about doing a live tour recently. We've been just in like
You would
the
do so
bare-
well.
It would be I'm sure it would be a great experience. We're in the preliminary stage of planning it
That's
and meeting
good.
directors and all this shit.
Ooh, an
But it's like,
exclusive.
well, they're like, okay, we're going to take you on the road for 2 months and you're doing 6 shows a week. I'm like, and I'm thinking about that. I'm like, dude, I don't
Right.
It
I do
sounds like
6
a
I don't
shows.
know if
nightmare.
I can handle that.
Yeah.
The comedy club circuit, which is the majority of my tour.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll do theaters here and there, and if I'm going international, it's all theaters, but or music venues sometimes internationally.
Was that because they're
It just
It's a
did.
bigger
Like,
crowd,
I
you
don't
play
know.
those
I guess they
shows.
just don't have comedy clubs overall. But the way that the comedy club scene works in the U.S., I go out on Wednesday. So I do Thursday morning press. I do 1 show on Thursday. I do 2 shows on all in the same club. I go for 5 days to one
To
place.
Oh,
club.
wow.
Yeah, one place. I got 1 show Thursday, 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday,
Holy.
and possibly 1 show on Sunday. So it's
when-
either 5 or 6 shows in the same venue, all in one weekend.
So when you do 2 shows,
Sounds
is it
insane.
It's fucking. I've gotten to a point where I'm like
how
just genuinely dread it. I just dread it because not only do I do the whole live show, immediately afterwards I do a meet and greet with the entire audience. I promise every single
As-
person who wants a photo.
as much as you love your
Wow.
fans, that's got to be really
It's-
exhausting because it's like
It's gnarly.
It's gnarly.
It's gnarly. The meet and greet is harder work than the show itself.
It has to
And I
be.
do a whole show, a whole meet and greet, a whole show, and a whole meet and greet.
That's
So-
gotta be so. I mean,
Something that really scares me about it is that you have to repeat the same show.
It's
What scares you about that?
Because I feel like we always do every week
Sure.
or every 2
Right.
days we do something completely new.
Right.
Like we
Yeah.
always move forward with our
Right.
You're
thing.
afraid people getting bored or just like repeating?
No,
Me.
she's talking about her own experience and
like-
being like stuck on Groundhog's
Yeah, like you're
Day.
in a loop.
Got it,
You
got it.
gotta do the same
got it.
twice in the same on the day.
Yeah, do you ever feel... that's something I've thought about with comedians.
It
where it's
might
like
not be
Groundhog
at
Day.
all that bad. It's just in my head.
Yeah.
Yes, it sucks, and at the same time, you can't perform that many shows without improvement. You know, even if you try to
Little
do
details.
even if you try to do the same show. You know, even if you like, still it's gonna evolve. It's gonna evolve, and as you get, kind of the bigger picture process is, you know, you go everywhere. I don't ever want to go back to a place that I've been before until I have a new show.
Got it.
And so you kind of go everywhere that you're gonna go. You'd be burnt about, you know, like
The crowd is different, I guess.
right. So you do your whole circuit. And then you tape comedy special, and then once you tape the comedy special, then you start really doing new material. But you have until the special airs to kind of do half new and fall back on half, and so then you develop it and then
I think it's
start
just-
over again.
It's
so
a completely different monster.
Yeah, it's so different.
That's also one of the reasons I'm like concerned or like hesitant to try to get into it, because it's like I've gotten good at what I do,
Right.
And I
It's
know
like
that it's
starting over.
completely. It's like starting all over, yeah. In terms of skill set and understanding,
right.
getting into it.
It's so funny. I mean, I think that where you're at with stand-up is where I'm at with the podcast. You know, I really think, because I've had this idea to do a podcast for however long, and I've had like the reps setting it up and negotiating, and no deal has really been finalized. There's been something holding it up, or the insurance. You
what
know,
kind of deal are you looking to get? Because you just fucking
Like
go in your garage,
sponsors.
get some mics out, and God bless
Right.
America.
There's
That's
still
true.
cost to it. There's
There's
always cost.
yeah.
to
well,
do it.
yeah. I mean, and it's not like there's really that much money, especially if you're just starting it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that when you have like the sophisticated representations, the big time agents and lawyers, it just starts to slow everything down.
Most
Yeah, it
definitely,
does.
man.
It starts to slow everything down, and I have actually, in the podcast arena, welcomed that, because I have kind of cold feet the way you do with stand up.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's like, the insurance on
Hesitate. Oh,
right.
shit. Hell yeah. I get
And so in the
But-
meanwhile, I'm happy to go on other people's podcasts, and it's crazy, like I've been able to go on some really big ones. And
Oh yeah. I mean, you've been on Joe Rogan several times now, right?
I have, like, really notably twice, I would say, because the first time or two that I did it, there was just such a room full of people, and I was really kind of early in my process with the comedy from the very first times, and so I was kind of unsure.
Shy.
I just wasn't. But the last two times on Joe Rogan, it's been really just me and him, and I've gotten more feedback from those podcasts than like even being on Howard Stern or anything like that. It's just
Really?
it's incredible what a fucking badass Joe Rogan is.
Actually, yeah. He's fascinating guy.
It is
Yeah.
incredible what
He's-
I'm like, and I could tell I was telling him like what a fan I was, because I could see him get uncomfortable. He's like, "Hey man, we're just friends."
Yeah.
right? I'm your friend.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, "Yeah, wow." Like, I just love it, man. I
No,
love
he's
it.
fat. Like, I follow him on Instagram, and his post, he always has like this really long explanation of something really fascinating. It kind of makes me angry. I'm like, why is this guy so fucking more interesting than me? Like, he puts his time into learn shit. He like dedicates himself to shit.
He's the best.
I'm like, dude,
He's the
play
best.
some
But
video games and waste
but
your
let-
time with me.
Let's give you some credit, though, man. I mean, we should just dive right into this, because this is what, you know.
Yeah, I like this bar.
Like
I like this bar.
Our relationship began, and people, they probably don't know this,
Yeah.
even though there were articles written about it.
Was there?
There were?
There were articles written about it, about how I tweeted at you. One night, I was fascinated about some topic or other, whatever it might have been. It involved individuals faking pranks.
Let's get into that.
And I
a
was
little
like,
bit.
and I was like, man, I was like, wow. I was just interested. Like, are they getting away with it? You know, it's just like someone I was thinking about it. Are they really getting away with it? And so I started kind of like researching researching a little bit. And I went down the rabbit hole where I was no longer even focused on the initial subject I was interested in, and now I was on to this Joey Salads
That's
guy.
the best. That was our golden moment.
Oh my God! And that was, I think, my first video I watched.
Which one was
of
it?
yours?
The interview
one
with him, or
No. First, I watched the one with
the Black Lives Matter?
The Black Lives Matter, and
Yeah.
then when I watched you, when you interviewed him.
You got the whole saga.
So yeah, I got
That's
part
awesome.
1
The
and
whole Joey
2.
trilogy.
Jesus, that fucking shit is amazing. And so then I just started watching more, and then it's the middle of the night when this is all going on. It had to have been like 3 in the morning, and I'm just watching H3 video after H3
Shit,
video,
that's
just
so
just going
That's
down the
amazing.
rabbit hole. And I just and this is coming from absolutely no idea.
Right.
I just have heard of you for the first time, and I just watched video after video after video, and then I got it. I gotta fucking.
That's
I gotta
honestly
do
such
something
a
with
huge
these guys.
compliment.
Yeah.
I gotta do something with these guys, and so then I tweeted at you.
Yep.
And for whatever it was, I think I said only just now became aware of
Yeah.
H3 Productions. God, I gotta fucking do something with.
Yeah.
Well, when I
And-
saw that, I was like, fuck this, let's go. I
Yeah.
responded
Right.
immediately.
Within 24 hours, I was at your house.
That's 5 hours after that tweet. We were on the phone,
Yep.
and you came
Yeah.
over at like 11. You went surfing or
I
something.
went surfing like a real badass.
I was like, oh shit, this guy surfs. He's pretty dope. I was like, oh damn, Evo's cool guy.
like a real badass. And I came back from the beach and we were hanging out. It was great. It was such a.
You remember the topic of our conversation when you came over?
Oh, I do. I remember quite a few topics.
We
of
we got into
conversation.
some great stuff because
We
fake
did.
pranks is close to my heart. That's
Yeah.
why I
Right.
do what I do.
I was like, dude, fucking, you guys are like the fucking internet police.
That's-
You know, you better watch out. Like, oh my God, and the latest, not to get off of fake pranks because we'll certainly go there.
Yeah.
But this latest video,
Which
I get a little self conscious on the "It's time to stop Lance" thing.
Why?
Because I mean I've never faked anything, so then I'm not worried about that. But what was it like? I tried a fucking Vine star, you know, like what you call it, sketch Instagram comedy.
yeah, you
Oh,
tried
like
this-
that
this-
Instagram comedy.
this-
I'd like
this-
to look
this-
at
I
that.
saw
This-
your collab with Viners, right?
I did
That's what
two.
you- yeah,
Who were-
I saw
I
that.
did 2 of them, and the first one, was an idea I was sitting on for the longest time. I was like, man, you know, like a bathroom etiquette thing, and I was like
That's right up there.
if,
Alfie.
well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Here's my premise, and it's really fucking funny. Is that if a guy, heaven forbid, comes out of the bathroom and he has left the toilet seat up, a woman's likely to yell at him, "Oh, you're so rude! You left
Yeah.
the toilet seat up."
Yeah.
Right, but what they don't fucking consider is that the reason why the toilet seat is up is because the guy was polite enough to not
Consider.
piss her up, not piss all over
I
it in the
think
first
about
place.
that shit too.
Right, it's like, oh, let me be thoughtful and let me not piss all over the toilet seat. I'm gonna lift it up to make sure I don't piss on it.
I don't want you to sit in my piss.
That guy gets yelled at.
Yeah.
But then the other guy who leaves it down, piss all over it,
He's
and gets showered with praise.
Yeah, that's a great thing. So
Yeah,
how did you translate
Well,
that?
we got together with some Viners, and I walked in,
Who
and
were they? Any notable?
Was
Are
it,
they,
yeah. Who
any
was
pollers?
it? Lele?
Oh,
Or-
Lele!
not the biggest ones.
Okay.
Not the
You had
biggest.
like
No,
the
it was
broke.
big ones.
You
I
had like the
remember.
broke ass weird Viners.
You
that
know
are,
why
like,
Not
I
the broadcast.
recognizable, but you don't know from where.
You know why I was watching it? Because we were planning to do a video on Instagram videos.
Instagram comedians.
Instagram comedians.
Well, so
Specifically Viners
Right.
on Instagram. So I was watching everything.
well, I haven't seen yours, but
Oh, there's a lot to get through. There's a
I-
lot, but the
I'm
thing
sure
was that
your shit's-
when I posted that one,
Yeah.
the bathroom one, it was still the most viewed thing I've ever put on Instagram.
wow.
they get views.
And I have done some outrageous shit, and then the sketch, and I thought, man, I got to really get into this.
Wait,
then
hold
my
on one
second
sec,
my
sorry.
second one
Why is
wasn't.
the camera only on Hila?
Wait, what?
It's just on you. It's just, I've seen in the chat, everyone's just saying the camera's on Hila.
They were demanding it, he says.
Oh, is that a thing?
What?
You're not the director, Dan. You put the camera up. Who's
Oh my
talking?
god. How long was it on
How
me?
long was it on Hila?
What?
Let's get the camera back on Neela, and then
No.
sorry to interrupt you. Let's get the camera on Neela. Go ahead.
No.
But yeah, in any case, so that was. I just got a little self-conscious on your last the Lance video because I was like, ooh, I got into the Instagram
Actually, I didn't
comedy.
see. Look,
No,
it's not
but-
all bad. I saw some good stuff there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just generally these Viners, this premise of these Viners, this mass exodus from Vine when it got closed down, and they're like these parasites, it's like a dystopia. They're like infiltrating all the social medias.
To be fair, that exodus occurred
thing.
before Vine went
Yes, it
away.
did, but that was
because
like-
they were like, wow, we could have longer formats. It was
It's like World War II. The Jews were sprinkling out, but once the
Right.
Holocaust hit, then you're like, oh fuck, there's Jews
Right,
everywhere.
Do you really have to be Jewish to say
everywhere
that?
You do. It helps. You don't have to, but it helps. And then you're like,
'Cause that's
fuck, there's Jews everywhere. It's just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with the fake pranks business, God, I've been so.
Well, you have a history with these guys. Some of the guys we've spoke about a lot. Vitali,
Right.
Roman Atwood. Mm-hmm. Was there any other ones? Those were the big boys. back
Those are
in
the
day.
guys that helped me launch my YouTube channel. This was crazy because, like with the Jackass franchise, I was a part of 3 theatrical box office movies.
Yeah.
And all of them were #1. They were made with
Yeah.
like notoriously low budgets, and the profit margins on the Jackass movies were astronomical.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's just like, I even heard that Paramount was like in real trouble at one point, and
You
it
guys
was a
saved their
Jackass
ass.
movie that, I mean, it's probably an overstatement to say that we saved them, but we certainly helped. We
By the way,
certainly
I have a
helped.
question.
Yeah.
I'm not asking to say how much, but like I know you guys famously got paid like very little for the first episode or the first movie.
First movie, I know that I got like $65,000.
Whoa! And how much
But-
did that movie make?
But there are a lot of guys.
Well, it's good.
But
There's
you
a lot
gotta
of guys. It's
remember-
good exposure.
A lot of guys good exposure, and I would have taken that and
Yeah.
been like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, like the first season of the TV show, I got paid not even per episode. I got paid per bit, and if it was
bit. So
per-
if they cut your bid out, you don't get paid?
right, I
That's
guess
strange.
so.
That's kind of
That
fucked
sucks.
up. They like pit you guys
Right,
against
and
each other.
and if it was
bit?
if it was really high impact, like dangerous physical
like,
stunts,
they calculate
I got
your-
$500 per bit.
No way.
Oh
Right,
my
and that's if it
God.
was like super
They're like,
dangerous.
look, you had like a 10% chance of dying in this bit. I'm gonna kick you a couple hundred extra
Right.
bucks.
Right. Well, if it was like just a sight gag, like a low impact comedy where you're not in danger, then it was $200.
That is honestly
That
fucked
is
up
insane.
because they're promoting you. They're encouraging you guys to endanger yourselves.
Yeah, of course.
That's
of
a
course.
fucked up thing to
But
do.
the thing is
and
that-
meanwhile,
but-
on the front, they're like, please don't attempt
But
these.
even with that, and it's come to my attention more, like because I've looked at someone's deal, someone who's just starting out, and they've just got such a fucking shitty deal that ties them up for so long. And I look back on it, like our contract for that first season didn't automatically renew
They
itself.
didn't fuck you
You
in.
know, it wasn't like it did it. And I think that Knoxville and Tremaine really protected us from that. And Knoxville in particular with the movies, when it came to that first movie, apparently, from what I understand, he just said, dude, I'm not fucking doing anything. I'm not getting in front of a camera unless all the guys have back end. So
That's
while we got
great.
the $65,000, or that's what I got, maybe like
So you did have a back end cut.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
for sure.
What a G.
right, yeah, what a G. It wasn't like big,
But even
it wasn't.
still,
It wasn't.
most people
it-
don't
That's
have
a
the
nice
presence of
thing
mind
to
to even
do.
be
Right.
aware of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Most people just happily get fucked over.
Right,
Yeah.
and so all things considered, it all worked out pretty well. With the first season of the TV show, at the end of the day, I made less than $1,500. Right, and I think they still air it. I think it's still out there.
Oh my goodness.
Right,
So
and
the reason I ask about your money is because I think I saw you say this quote
Yeah, I
somewhere.
think it was-
and it captivated me. You said something how you were super famous but broke. And that was
No, I've
fucked
never
up.
said. I can't imagine I would have said that I was broke. That's not
you were
been the
famous
case.
but not rich. That was
Right,
I think I heard
right.
You say that, and I was like, damn, that's kind of fucking interesting.
If there was a quote, it would have been something to the effect of, "It's a lot easier to get famous than it is to get rich." I think that's probably what it was.
You didn't feel like you were broke in the early days.
Well,
Because you were certainly very famous.
I've not been broke since when Jackass first came out. I was certainly broke because I got so little for that first season. I'd been kicked out of my sister's house where I lived. She kicked me out.
Yeah.
I was fired from my job. I was a circus clown. So when
I am captivated by that as well.
when Jackass started to air, when it premiered on MTV, I was unemployed, homeless, and broke.
You were a clown.
And a star.
You were a previous clown.
I was a veteran circus clown, but I was unemployed and I had no money and I had no place to live.
And you were super famous at that point.
It all hit pretty quickly,
Okay.
and people would recognize me and ask me for a picture or an autograph, and I'd be like, yeah, sure. Like, can I sleep on your sofa?
Can you hook me up? You can buy me lunch?
Right.
So
crazy.
that I don't know, that concept to me is really fascinating.
Yeah.
That combination.
And then within 2 weeks, by the first episode aired, 1 week later the second one aired, then 1 week after that the third. So when they got the ratings back for the third episode, I got a call from the executive producer who said, "It's official, we're the highest rated show of this kind of format in like the history of MTV." I mean, obviously not higher ratings than the VMAs or anything, but of any kind of half-hour comedy.
Right.
Like they'd never seen a bigger profit margin, and I was in a position to renegotiate because I didn't have a contract that tied me up, and I would credit Knoxville with that. And they said, okay, so we know we got to pay you for, MTV just ordered seasons 2 and 3.
Wow.
In the same guy. Now, this first season was 8 episodes.
Right.
So they ordered 16 episodes.
Okay.
Seasons 2 and 3 together. They got this buy of 16 episodes, and they said, we know we got to pay you, so we're going to give you $2,000 per episode. And in my mind,
they fuck you. They get
well, in my mind, I wasn't even like, it didn't occur to me that the first answer is always no. No matter what it is, no matter what your first answer
you had no
is no.
representation or anything at that time.
Yeah. The first answer is always no. That's just what you do. Like, I guess. I don't know. I didn't know that.
No, we've been through the same shit.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm thinking, wow, okay, so 16 episodes times 2,000, that's $32,000. I'm fucking rich. Like, what? And I remember too, because it's such a fucking cool time, man. I mean, I didn't care, man. I didn't think I was gonna live, man.
Well,
I was sure that I was gonna be dead so soon. And I remember they started filming for. Pretty cool. And I would film in short bursts, man. That whole first season of Jackass, I filmed in the space of 5 days, and I only filmed on 3 of those 5 days.
Wow,
and then the first trip,
I
guess
it makes sense.
Of the 32,000, I guess after taxes it was more like 20,000.
Yeah.
And then they gave me half of that, largely up front. And I remember I called up Jeff Tremere and I was like, dude, I just got a check I didn't just get it. I said, I'm about to get a check for $10,000. I said, I've never even heard of $10,000. I said, I'm just going to put it to you like this. When I get this check, it's going in the bank. And before that motherfucker even clears, I'm going to be on the road driving from where I lived in Florida to L.A. I'm driving out to fucking L.A. I'm moving to California. I'm going to fucking pop off with this shit,
Was that your dream to move to LA?
Pretty much. My life was an agonizing wait to move to LA, across the board. Everything I was ever into was from, heavy metal music, skateboarding, stunts, Yeah, it was all about that. So
that was a huge, golden, beautiful opportunity.
Oh, it was so great.
It just represented all the opportunities.
Yeah. And the dopest thing was that when I told that to Tremaine, he said, hey, fucking, you're not going anywhere until you give me a list of ideas for Jackass stunts in every single state. Like, give me something for every state between Florida and California, and if the list rules, then I'll send out a TV production crew to follow you as you drive across country.
Jeez.
And so that's what we did.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. I was like,
What
I was
came
like,
of that
okay.
footage? You went into the show?
Yeah, for sure. So I had a way head start, you know.
So you were by yourself during those.
Well, one of the
crew.
producers rode with me in my car, and then the production team followed behind. So I mean, it took like 5 days to get across country. And I remember I was like, okay, so I'm going to be in Alabama. I was like, Alabama, it's like the deep South. I want to go to a black fraternity house at a college campus, and I just want to show up unannounced and bang on their door and tell them how impressed I am by their brands. You know, you see like black fraternity guys, they've got these crazy brands, you know, from branding their flesh with hot irons, and I wanted to
brand like a brand. You
like
mean a tattoo?
I mean branding flesh with
Not a tattoo,
hot
a
irons.
brand.
Right, a brand.
Did people used to do that?
Yeah, they still do it. You see these guys' arms, and it's called keloid when the scar is raised up,
Ew.
and they get their fraternity fucking logo, like whatever their Greek
I
letters.
thought you were like, yeah, FUBU, they were all rocking like really hot brands. I was like, yeah, they're fashionable.
No, I wanted my skin to be fucking branded, right? And I was going to tell them, out of respect for your fraternity, I'm not a member of your fraternity, so I don't want to get your fraternity logo, whatever it is. I want to get a heart, the shape of a heart branded over my heart as a metaphor to show that love hurts.
Wow.
Yeah, very deep.
Poetic.
Right, so
That was a wonderful thought.
that was among my ideas.
Did you get branded?
Well, yeah, but the thing was that when they had to submit all the ideas, so they'd submit the ideas, and then they came back. They got to approve them, and they said, okay, well, you can't get branded. The only way you can get branded is if it's by a professional. Everything had to be under the supervision of professionals. So it's like, okay, they found like in Alabama a tattoo shop where they said, okay, we can do branding. They didn't really do it, but it'd be a professional
we'll
setting.
Get paid to watch.
So I got branded.
Yeah, let me see that.
You can still see it.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. What did it look like when you first did it?
That was 16 years ago.
It's a very subtle, just white heart.
Right. Yeah. I don't have that the skin that scars that great.
That's a good thing, isn't it?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I got gypped.
You got gypped? I think that's good.
Yeah,
if you're
right. Okay.
You're slamming, baby.
Right, but then when they filmed it and they submitted the footage, then the standards and practices, the TV censors came back and said, oh, well, we said you could get Steve-O branded. We never said anything about airing on television footage of sizzling, smoking flesh.
What did they expect, though?
Right, but I got kind of branded for nothing. Which,
well, dude, it's a reminder to yourself that love hurts.
It's true.
You
it's
never
true.
forget that lesson.
But yeah, so that's how it all worked. And then I got out to LA, and fuck, man, that was March of 2001, man. Long time ago.
Did you find out how fast you can spend $10,000?
Well, the thing was that I got a call from this guy, he was like, hey, man, this is before I left Florida. This guy dug me up because we were like really popular on MTV with the first season.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, man, I'm calling you from Cleveland. This guy was a rave promoter from Cleveland. And he says, I'm throwing a party on, I think it was January 25th, and I want to fly you out to attend this party. And I'll get you out the next morning. You won't even be gone for 24 hours, and I'll pay you $700. And I was like, dude, don't just give me $700. I'll fucking chew and swallow glass. I will light myself on fucking fire. I will light my fucking head on fire.
You were really overvaluing $700, I think.
Right. Turned out that we went out there, and it was me, Wee Man, and Bam, and we each got $700.
Damn,
and that was the first time I ever. The first time Bam ever took ecstasy was because I gave it to him.
Okay.
I got 2 pills and I broke 1 1/2, and I just gave Bam a little baby half, and I took 1 1/2.
Yeah.
And Bam was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you took more than 1 1/2." You know, like
he was rolling hard.
Oh, dude, he was rolling on a half an E. I had taken 1 1/2. I'd done fucking meth, mushrooms, you've been around coke. I was gnarly.
Yeah.
I was so gnarly, and so But I remember distinctly that I did end up getting to sleep. So
Well, what did they guys?
at
what
some
did they want
point
from
I
you?
fell asleep because the same guy, the promoter, the next day.
Yeah.
He was like, "Hey, your flight leaves like in an hour." I was like underneath his dining room table, like. He's like, your flight leaves in an hour. Do you want to even try it? And I was like, oh, no. And I just slept all day.
That's wonderful.
I said, I don't even want to bother with it. And I slept all day under the guy's table. And so then when I woke up, like, we walked across this bridge in Cleveland to this restaurant. And then there's the Cleveland River. And it was January. So I'm walking across, I looked down, and the river was partially frozen in certain areas, and some other the areas were like frosty and dry, but I could see it was like shitty ice, like thin.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I'm not leaving Cleveland until I get a fucking pair of ice skates, and I go skating on that river until I fall through the ice.
What was it inside of you where it seems like back then it's like everything you looked at, you're like, this is a challenge to me.
I got to prove myself. Yeah, I would like, and I was never in it for the money, man. Like I said, I didn't think I was going to live very long. I had such a terrible drug problem. I was just like, whatever, man. Like,
what was it though? That was
I don't know. I
driving
wanted
you
to be
do that?
remembered forever.
And you just saw every opportunity to get out there and
I just wanted to fucking be loved and important somehow, and remembered. We're all gonna be dead, and I was like, I want to live on after I'm gone. I want to I want to have a legacy.
That's the way you saw to do it.
Right, but so this guy, I was in Cleveland for a week. Before I fell through the ice twice. I wasn't happy with the footage the first time, so when I did it in the Hooter shorts, it just didn't work for me. So then I went back and did it in a tutu, and that day we filmed it better. So over the course of that week in Cleveland, this guy, and we're like, he had made $35,000 on his party.
Okay, so wait, let me get this clear. He just flew you guys out just to be there.
Just to be there.
So
And it was like a rave. It was a rave. Yeah, it was like and this was before like the whole personal appearance thing was even really
Right.
And
So
I
he made $35,000 just from.
Right.
In large part, you think having you guys there and promoting it. That way.
Yeah, for sure. We were big stars, and I remember too. He was like, he said, when I missed that flight, when I got up, he's like, so when do you got to get me home? He's thinking that like I'm a star in the biggest show on MTV,
Right,
and like
I
got shit to do. Again, the party was January 25th. And so he says, when do I got to get home? And I was like, oh, well, I'm kind of into this chick, and I really want to be home by Valentine's Day.
How did he react to that?
He was like, oh, my God, what the fuck is going on?
Before that.
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And he was like, I had been whoring myself out to this internet company for like $500 a bit for internet clips. And so he was like, well, what are you doing for money? And I was like, dude, you kidding me? I have like, I was like, I have like $1,200 in the bank.
A grown-ass man with a club is like,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And he didn't have a club. He was just a promoter.
Okay.
But,
Got it.
dude, it was so funny. And that guy, he pitched us and sold public personal appearances for spring break in Panama City.
So he kept
and he's
going.
like, I gave you $3,000 for I think if it was $3,000 for 2 weekends.
Oh, that's quite a lot more than the
Right,
previous one.
right. And so it got to the point where it was like three. But the thing was, the first public appearance, the personal appearance thing was at the largest nightclub in the U.S. And it was sort of a meet and greet kind of thing. We're just supposed to be there.
Got it.
We're supposed to appear. But as I was there was a fucking stage, and I was like, that's a stage over there. I'm getting on it, and I got on the stage, and like thousands of people came over, and I'm like, doing like, go, give me this, give me that, and I'm like doing all my fire.
Is this the birth of the wanting to do stand-up?
Well, it was certainly the birth of a tour.
Because that would be a perfect full circle, beautiful story right there.
Well, yeah, what happened, like I got on that stage and I kept people at that stage, like over 1,000 people for over an hour. They gave me a microphone and I was doing like my fire-breathing acrobatics, like nut kicks and like this and that. I kept doing all this crazy shit, like cutting myself with the light bulb and chewing and swallowing the glass, like all my shit. And the Cleveland guy was like, dude, we got a show. We got a show. And so it turned into a whole world tour. And
Really?
it wasn't stand-up as much. It was more like,
nutty.
I promise, I will be drunk and on drugs or your money back.
That's my guarantee to
That was
you.
my guarantee for every show. That was my guarantee.
Is that in the contract? Steve-O must do at least.
It was never in writing.
Yeah,
It was never
okay.
in writing, but I held up my end of the bargain.
Yeah, good. You're a loyal performer.
Right, and it was great. It wasn't stand up per se, but it was certainly live performance, and
How do you look back on those days? Do you look at those like
God, I
old
love
days,
it.
or you're like,
I
man,
love
that
it.
was fucked up?
it was great.
Yeah.
Everything about it was great, man. Like, this is fucked up for like a sober guy. I've been sober for a long time now, but I think to myself, man, if I could repeat like a 6-month window of my life to just live on a loop,
That's the one.
like the first 6 months of 2003
Wow.
were fucking gnarly.
You know what? It's a beautiful thing too, honestly, because you weren't making
was just
that much money, right? You had enough money where you're like, oh, I have money, I have freedom.
I had enough money, but I didn't even have an ATM card. I had no ATM card. I didn't give a fuck. It was just like this guy became my shady fucking manager, the Cleveland dude, and started like distributing my DVDs and just not paying me anything.
He's like, I work with Steve. I can sell this shit.
Right.
You're selling your merch at your stores and not getting a cut.
Selling merch at my shows,
That's
and I don't think I
unbelievable.
ever got a penny for merch. You're selling DVDs.
That is unbelievable.
I had a fucking late night TV commercial for my Too Hot for TV Steve-O video, the
Yeah.
DVD.
Yeah.
It was like, oh man, it began because that's how it happened with Tremaine. When Tremaine first told me that our Jackass pilot got ordered, he said, so like write ideas for when we come to film you in Florida, and take all the video footage that you have and send it in so we can license it onto the show. And like a week later, he told me that not one clip I sent him was allowed on TV. He said, unfortunately, nothing cleared standards and practices.
What?
So I thought, hey, what kind of a fucking watered down bullshit show are we gonna make?
Yeah.
It turns out they just had they were really particular about fire, and if you
Because of the Beavis and Butthead thing.
correct,
Man.
and
Do you know that story?
and
Hila?
the-
It's
I've
fascinating.
heard about it.
it's a
I don't know
spiritual
the-
axiom that whatever you do is cooler if you are on fire.
Yeah, of course. Well, okay, so if you guys don't know, this was a huge
Right.
thing back in the day. There
Right.
was this animated show, Beavis and Butthead, which was
Yeah.
really revolutionary at the time.
It was in
It
Israel.
was great.
It was a wonderful
It's
show.
the best. And periodically and regularly,
Yeah.
Beavis would click a lighter and he'd go, fire, fire,
Yeah.
fire.
I remember when I was a kid, everyone was walking around doing Beavis and Butthead impressions. It was huge.
And then a kid burned
He took the
down
advice.
in a trailer park. A kid was playing with matches or a lighter, set the whole trailer on fire, killed his baby sister,
Right.
and MTV was held liable for it.
So
that.
this, it was just one of the first instances of this
There's
weird
consequence.
censorship of this whole thing of are video games responsible for violence? I don't know. Is
Oh
this,
my God, what a great question.
but it's
I
is a
watched a
show
documentary-
responsible for a joke in it? I don't think so. It's ridiculous.
I watched this documentary on an airplane, and the title of it was "Are Video Games Really That Bad?" And I watched the whole thing, and I turned it into a joke, which I never really used. But what this documentary revealed is that there is no link between video game violence
Right.
and real life violence.
Right.
But there is, however, a link between playing video games all the time and being a complete fucking loser.
Yeah, yeah. We don't need a documentary to draw that conclusion. That should be it. It's look,
It's a strong link.
it's a very strong causal relationship.
I said that on.
That's a great bit. You should take that on. You should take that on.
I said that on the Game Grumps podcast. These guys, they play video games.
Yeah, I
and
know those guys.
Those guys are fucking awesome.
I don't
man.
know. I actually never met them, but I know.
I got to give props to those dudes. And there's another one where I
They
got
have
so
a
much
crazy
feedback.
operation, man.
Oh, dude, they sell out comedy clubs and they just go play video games in them.
Yeah, I know. I've
It's
heard
kind
about
of like
that.
it's basically a podcast set to the visual of a video game.
Right.
And I went in there. I said, I want to play the most violent fucking video. They thought I would want to play like Jackass the video game.
Yeah.
I was like, no, dude. I want the most fucking gratuitously violent fucking
What'd you land
bloodshed. I forget what it was even called, but it was pretty
was
funny.
gnarly?
That was hilarious. It was hilarious.
Wow.
We probably need to do the sponsors.
Oh yeah, we'll take a quick break.
Oh, how about that? Cool.
That was a beautiful thing. Steve-O, you're a fascinating guy,
Well,
man.
thanks,
God
bro.
bless you.
I apologize if anybody's heard any of these stories before. I
Oh.
try to keep it pretty fresh, you know. But dude, what fucking?
This is
dude,
good shit,
If you thought the
dude.
first half of this podcast was
The
dope,
second half is gonna be
oh
nuts.
fuck!
my
Has it been
dogs.
an hour?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been an hour.
Oh
We're
shit!
slamming, dude.
Oh my god, dude! If there
But I'll
was a
tell you
like
what.
button on this,
Guys, smash. I know there's no like button, but like mentally, if you can smash it,
right?
That-
but on
yeah.
YouTube, there's a like button.
when
Yeah,
this
on
hits
YouTube there
YouTube, yeah,
will
I'm
be.
gonna
Oh my
just
god,
smash it.
they're gonna be
Well,
fucking.
we were talking about how likes are the currency of the future.
Right.
Nobody makes money on YouTube anymore. We all just come for the likes.
That's right.
That's-
The validation, man.
Yeah, that's all that matters. So we'll take a quick break. I'm gonna talk about some sponsors who make this
Yeah.
show possible.
Cool, man. Cool, cool.
But
cool.
if you want
You can go to
to-
the bathroom.
Yeah,
You can stick
I'll
around.
get a head start, man. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, God bless you.
Oh
So,
my god, when I get back, I'm gonna fucking crush.
guys, our sponsors make this show possible. I actually, the sponsored parts are kind of fun for me.
Yeah, they're kind of fun.
I've been learning about really interesting products that are actually useful.
We said that we feel like we're in Shark Tank.
Yeah, seriously. I always look at these products because I'm always looking for interesting products that can like improve my life. Because you go to Ralph's or some shit or Target, you don't always find like the interesting shit that's out there. Everything's on the internet. I didn't know what's on the
Yeah.
internet. It's too big. Here's one we got. This one is called Quip. Okay. Where's my Quip brush? So this is an electric toothbrush called Quip, and this won the invention of the year. Actually, where's that fucking written? Invention of the Year by Times Magazine, 2016.
That's pretty crazy.
It's kind of dope. So,
Let me close
close the door. I'm hearing myself.
Yeah.
So this toothbrush starts at $25, and it's electric. I don't think you need to charge it or even put a battery in it. And what's dope is you push the button, it vibrates, and then it keeps track of your brushing too. So every minute, it gives you, or 30 seconds, it gives you a little vibrate, and then it turns off after 3 minutes. It helps you keep track of your brushing. And it's actually, I'm obsessed with oral hygiene. What do you do?
Ethan actually really is obsessed.
I'm a fucking
He
nut.
brushes for an hour sometimes.
It's not that long. Sometimes I brush so long
Sometimes
I like
you
burn
brush
my mouth.
like a whole episode. If we watch a show,
Yeah,
you'll
that's
brush
true.
the whole time, which is probably 30 minutes.
Yeah. Sometimes I leave the toothbrush in my mouth so long that I like it burns my mouth
Yeah, I
and my
don't know
gums
how
go.
you do it.
But I'm obsessed with oral hygiene. Bad breath and bad like mouth shit just is the biggest turnoff ever.
And there's actually results for you because whenever we go to the dentist, I have some
nada.
shit to do, and Ethan, nothing.
Yeah, dude. Just brush your teeth for 30 minutes. That's all you have to do.
I don't know how you do it.
So these guys Quip. You go to getquip.com/H3. GETQUIP.com/H3. You can get this starting at $25. I used it right before the show, and it actually works amazingly. It gives you that, like, sometimes I brush, and you still have, like, schmutz, kind of, like you can feel it.
Yeah.
So with this, I didn't have any of it.
Yeah.
And I'm always looking for a good toothbrush. When you go to the store, they're always, like, too hard. You notice that?
I tell me about it. I'm always on a constant look for the softest toothbrush possible.
So this is good. I mean, I honestly am going to use this. I think it's a great
and this
product.
is their toothpaste.
Starts at $25. New brush included. Free shipping included. Go to getquip.com/H3. Help the show. Support it. This is a great toothbrush. I'm going to use this.
Me too.
Let's go. How was that? You guys buying this toothbrush? Is there anything else to say about this? It's actually legit. And for the price of $25, it's a great deal.
I wanted to do the link in the chat, but on the phone it's so hard.
You hear that? That's the sound of clean teeth. Bye.
Oh, cool. Snipers got it.
Oh,
Thank
Snipes.
you.
Thanks, Doug. Yeah, spam that link in chat. Getquip.com. What a G
Thank you.
Snipes is. Let me make sure that works. So that's our first sponsor. And these sponsors really are the shit. This show wouldn't be possible without their support. We have a ton of expenses here, and they've graciously supporting us. And I wouldn't bring a product I didn't believe in. This is actually a really great toothbrush. And then I think the best part is that it keeps track of it for you. It kind of motivates you. I don't have that problem.
To at least brush for 3 minutes.
It goes for
right?
3 minutes,
Yeah.
and then it turns off automatically.
It's a really good habit.
Yeah, it promotes you to fucking clean that dirty mouth. This link isn't working.
It's not working?
Getquip.com/H3. It is not working. What the hell? Are you serious? Did we seriously crash their website? You guys weren't ready for this shit? Get Quip. Time to get some more bandwidth on your server. We just crashed our sponsor's website.
That's so funny.
Well, I guess that's a good thing.
Getquip.com/H3,
Well,
right?
Cool, man. Well, fuck, dude.
here.
This fucking...
GETQUIP.com/H3. It's the best spot for them, and their website's completely crashed.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
hopefully.
not.
Damn it, Quip! This isn't their first rodeo. Well, anyway, hopefully people will be able to visit that on YouTube. So,
Dude, I finished the coffee, right? I poured the last bit of the pot,
Yeah.
and I was like, fuck, man. Like, I'm finishing it off, and then I took a sip, and it's fucking, like, cold.
what? It's
It's
supposed
not fucking
Yo,
hot, dude.
I am so sorry.
Dude.
Dad, what the hell, dude? You're supposed to keep the
think-
coffee hot.
I think
God
I
damn it,
off.
Ela, what the fuck, dude? Sorry, Dad.
I think you
All right, we
gotta
got one more to
blame me.
Always.
You
keep-
want me to make
I'm gonna
more
make
coffee?
a new pot. Yeah, I'm gonna make a new
I'll
pot.
make more coffee.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
No, I want more too. I really enjoyed that cup for some reason. It got me there.
Right.
Well, I
dude.
got another spot.
Do you want to do that while I...
You want me to go in solo?
All right, dude, should we fucking keep the pace up? I feel like I don't want to...
We're slamming, baby.
Are we slamming?
I have
okay?
one more spot to do. Here.
I'm just like, fuck, man. Let's keep the funny. Let's keep the interesting. Let's keep the crazy.
Oh,
Keep it coming, you know?
Slow, like a molasses, baby.
You mean like...
They watch, they tune in. No, it's not been slow. It's been
Right,
great.
no, it's been good to this point, but I'm worried about, have we...
This part,
have
this
we,
is slow.
are we-
Yeah, this
we're
is,
in a lull.
everyone's
We're in a lull.
bouncing. We've lost 90% of our viewers. No, we haven't. We got to keep the juice flowing. We got to keep the, got to keep the money flowing.
Right.
Got to get paid, or you getting played. You know about that.
That's right, dude.
So here, let's move it on to this one. Then we'll
Dude, I just took that piss. I just felt like I was pissing money.
Dude, it's the best part about this show, man. You should join me when I go to the bathroom, so we can piss money together. Although technically you're not, but
Right.
I'll give you like $5.
I just knew that, like, I just...
All right, let's do this last one real quick. So this one is called Wink, WINC, Wink, and they have this service where they give you 4 bottles of wine every month. And the really cool thing is, I like wine, but I don't know how to choose one. You go to the store, there's like hundreds of bottles. I don't know what any of it means. You take your chances. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. So what's interesting about this service, Wink.com, or actually that is getwink.com/H3. I can't believe Ela left me in the trenches.
Oh, God.
Trywink.com/H3. That's TRYWINC.com/H3. Quip is up again. This is such a shit show. So, this wine company, you take a quiz and you answer like 10 to 20 questions, kind of ask you some general stuff like, do you like nutty flavors? Do you like acidy flavors, right? And so based on your preference, they send you 4 bottles every month. And we tried the 4 we got, and it's really fun because it's like a nice variety. You really left me in the trenches here, Ela.
Sorry, what happened?
We're getting creamed, dude.
You fucked us.
We're
Ela.
getting creamed out here.
You-
I'm talking about Wink.
You fucked us.
So they send you 4 bottles, and it's a really nice variety. So if you like wine, I do enjoy drinking wine. You get like all kinds of different little treats. It was 2 whites, 2 reds. You get to choose it, what you like. How did you enjoy the wine, Ela?
I actually really liked it. The Malbec.
Sick.
The Malbec was my favorite.
Steve was like, let's get on with this shit.
I'm just so impressed by you guys.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Sitting here doing this whole thing.
Fucking, like, it's just great, man.
No, Wink is down. People are saying Wink is down. I can't handle this.
Are you serious?
Hold on, I gotta see if this is real or not. Trywink.com/H3. If this is down, I'm gonna fucking shit my pants and scream, it's down! What the hell's going on? Why are our sponsors' website's crashing?
Because that means we're crushed. They're crashing because we're crushing.
They're crashing, we're crushing, but it's. I don't know if that's probably. Well, they can't blame us.
It's a crush to crash ratio.
Yeah, there's a good crush to crash ratio here. They can't blame us for the crush to
You
crash.
spelled it
Right.
right?
Yeah, it actually works. It's very slow
Oh,
loading.
it works. Okay.
So Wink works. Try Wink works. Apparently they said Quip is up. If you guys are interested in that toothbrush offer, can you spam that? Can we get some spam on the Quip? We got the Wink. Now we need the Quip.
Snipers.
Capiche?
Can you come
Anyway, guys,
help us with the
if
link?
you go to Wink and go to wink.com, if you go to trywink.com/H3, you get $20 off your first order. Capiche? If you order now, and free shipping. Trywink.com/H3. The bottles start at $13 per pop, which is a really terrific deal if you guys know anything about wine, because apparently it's more expensive than that usually.
How about that?
How about that for a selling
How
point?
about that?
Like that?
But I like it. Okay. Okay, we got it. Guys, we got toothbrushes, we got wine. Thank you so much to our sponsors. If any of those sound interesting, it would mean a lot to us if you go try their product. It helps support us a lot. How'd we do? Did I screw any of those up? Am I fucked?
No.
Am I fired? Okay. Actually, I do
You're
need to go
hired.
pee now, though.
Me too.
Okay, so while you go pee,
Your expectations are too high for this show, Steve-O. It's a
it's
total,
dope.
it's a nonstop,
dope.
just train wreck.
I just love like the idea of like whenever
So we're gonna be back.
I'm in the
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
focus of people's attention, I just want to fucking hammer time. I want it to be fucking
Oh, yeah.
awesome the whole time, you know.
Yeah, you've been
We'll
awesome.
get
the whole
back
time.
to it. We'll get
Right.
back to it.
So,
So while
when we
you
get,
while you pee,
Yeah.
I've just got an open mic, huh?
I'll mute it.
We
I'm gonna
can
close
mute
it.
Why?
it so you don't.
If you want
we
it,
can
you want a
leave it
solo
on.
time?
Yeah.
Do you want to be on or do you want to chill?
I want to be on.
Okay,
dog.
so here's what we're doing. We're not taking a break. I'm gonna go. You want this to be part of the show, or you want to just entertain?
Do
you want this off the record or on the record? I'm giving you all the options, whatever you want.
Why, is there any such thing as killing the YouTube and having it just
Yeah.
be Twitch
If you
special?
want.
Yep.
Also, if you want, I can let you like look at the chat and you can talk to them.
Ooh.
So wait, I'm
I
gonna
can
roll
look
a.
at the comments.
I'm gonna roll.
It's got a little bit of a delay, so they hear you.
Solo Steve-O, they're fucking
They
begging.
want it. They want my ass out.
They're begging for it.
Okay, give it 60 seconds because I need.
You doing that?
So,
yeah.
how many people do we have?
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna roll a.
This is the amount.
Talk about pissing on the red carpet.
Hold on one
I
sec.
did piss on the red carpet.
I'm rolling this.
It was a sad,
So you have 2
sad
minutes.
fucking.
You have 2 minutes where half the people can see you, half can't.
2 minutes where half the people
'Cause
can
when
see
you
me,
have-
half can't. Why are we fucking half the people? We're taking half the people and just fucking them.
So you're on. You're on.
Okay,
actually.
all
I'll go
right.
pee. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, let me think here. Like I could respond. Peeing in the red carpet was pretty. Remember when you died? That was funny. Man, did you guys have mean people too, huh? Of course you do.
Yeah, they're mean. Yeah.
Yeah, ignore those.
Right, I know. I watched the reacting to negative comments with Ethan's parents. Okay, so now, what can I say? I'm so impressed with Ethan and Hila. I really, really am, and it's good that they're out of the room while I kiss their butts a little bit. When we did that YouTube video where we cut my balls off, it's incredible how much fucking response there was. And here's what we talked about all likes, and I complained about how my following, my YouTube followers, like they're stingy with the likes and this and that. Like, fuck, I just want to give it up to you guys for being such dope fans of H3. And if you're fans of mine, then show that love. If you happen to be in Denver or Tempe, Arizona, which is adjacent to Phoenix, I will be in your spots coming up. First week of July in Denver, second week of July in Tempe. So now, for that gratuitous plug, I should cough up something. I should cough up something salacious and juicy. Pissing on the red carpet. I'm still thinking about that. It was so dark and depressing. Like when we finished making Jackass 2, and this is going back 11 years now. Fuck, it's been 11 years, and That movie was that right there is the best Jackass movie, no question. Like, sure, Jackass 3 made a lot more money, and it was good. It was great. And it had the Phantom camera with the super slow-mo, and nobody had even seen that before. The technology with the 3D and the super slow-mo made Jackass 3D very special. But the masterpiece was Jackass number 2. That second movie was the masterpiece. And when it came out, I felt my life came to an end. I was like, you know what, no matter what I do after this point, nothing's ever going to be as big of a deal. Nothing's ever going to be as badass. Nothing's going to ever be so impressive. And so the rest of my life is just going to be just a downward, depressing fucking slide towards oblivion. And I showed up at that premiere for that second Jackass movie with just this dark fucking my life is over. And I was so mad at that red carpet because it represented like the end of my fucking livelihood. It represented like the peak from which everything was going to be downhill, and I was just so mad at it. And I pulled out my dick and I pissed all over it right in front of my 4-year-old niece. She was 4 at the time, and standing there on the red carpet watching me piss with my dick. And my dad was like, what the fuck are you doing? And I told my dad, God damn it, Dad, this is my red carpet. I'll piss on it if I want. Oh, yeah, wait, I'm crushing.
I'll be back in 30 minutes.
I think it's a pretty engaging story that I'm telling. And if there is a moral to it, what?
Can I leave that in the YouTube version?
Yeah, of course. If there is a moral to it, I think that it's important that we be careful about passing judgment on our lives. Joe Rogan told me when I said, "Man, I feel like I'll never outdo my first podcast, the last one I did." He's like, "Dude, don't ever try to compete with yourself." You know, now that it's been 11 years since that second Jackass movie. Fuck, man. Like, not everything I've done has been bigger or better or more impressive, but shit, I have grown up, man. I no longer feel like I'm going to be dead imminently. You know, I learned how to. I look back at that back then, man. I was so fucking douchey, and not that I'm not douchey now, but fuck, I've grown up so much, and in so many ways, I've improved so much, and I've learned. I think I can say that I've learned that even if the popularity of Steve-O is not what it used to be, that doesn't mean that my life is miserable.
Oh, you have fucking a ton of coffee now.
I have a ton of coffee now. Yeah.
Coffee boy.
Right. Right. And I'm just expressing gratitude for you guys. For you guys, I'm so impressed with you guys. I mean, think about it. Like, I'm talking to 1 million people right now.
I guess, yeah.
If I'm not talking to 1 million people right now, I'm still talking to 1 million people.
Yeah.
Fuck 1 million people will listen to this.
I'm back.
pretty wild.
Okay, good. So now we're
Oh, it's the feet shot. Damn, you know what you're doing? There's
What?
like at least 10 guys jerking off at your feet.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I didn't just want you to be aware of that.
I think it's pretty dope.
Great.
Now I
may be one of them.
I like how you're sitting with.
I had a special little solo time with the audience. I
Very
talked
excellent.
about. It was wonderful. I started with a lot of gratitude and butt kissing towards you guys.
Thank you.
Great
And
way
then
to
I
start.
went into somebody mentioned this red carpet and pissing
Yeah.
on it, and I really pulled back the layers of the philosophy and the dark depression, and I culminated in a hopeful message.
What was it?
Well, I don't want to like reiterate, but I was just like,
We'll go back and watch.
Jackass number 2, I felt like was our masterpiece, and that when it came out, I was like, oh, the rest of my life is downhill from
That's how
here.
you felt.
Yeah.
I did, and then when I showed up at that premiere, I was just mad at the red carpet. I was like, this red carpet just signifies my peaking out point where everything's downhill.
Why did you feel that way?
I don't know. I was just like,
I can understand the feeling.
I
It's
just
it
I
was,
didn't
like,
think we
so
could ever
good.
outdo that. I
It
thought
was
that
so good, so big. Like,
it was
how-
so good and it was so big. There was never supposed to be another movie
You were
after that.
so successful, it was depressing.
Yeah, because how do you follow up?
I just I can never be. It's like when people win the Olympics, bro. You know, or when people win a medal. Like I know a bunch of people from having gone to the University of Miami who are Olympic athletes, or at least Olympic hopefuls, and trained their whole life for it.
Mm-hmm.
Now the only thing, it's like one of my best friends, Brian Galuli. This guy won like 10 consecutive junior national titles, like never going to be outdone. And when he turned 18, he went to his first senior nationals, qualified first place, won first place. Brian Galuli, 18 years old, senior national diving champion before his scores were even up. They knew he ripped it so hard. And that was in 1994. However, the Atlanta Olympics were in 96.
Right.
So he went full scholarship to the University of Miami in 1994 and met me, right? And like, wait, no, sorry. I met him in 95. I met him in 95, and mostly in 96, we really broke down. And he just became a rock star, man. He was a fucking full scholarship, diving team, University of Santana U. He's the guy on the, you know, he started partying. Fucking, he didn't make the Olympics, dude. And he got, at Olympic trials in Atlanta, he got the best dive of the day, but he was not one of the 2 people that went to go dive on the 10 meter.
Wow.
And so it was like this incredible career, and you would think that was the most upsetting thing that could ever happen, to train your whole life for the Olympics and then not go. When in fact, what proved to be the worst thing was our buddy Scott Doney, who did go to Atlanta, and he got a fucking medal. And then there he was, and when they put that medal, it was like they hung the end of his life around his neck. That's what it is.
Don't try. That's the moral of the story.
They fucking never try.
You heard it from here, from Steve-O. Just give
It's like,
up.
I mean, dude, I got like goosebumps, man. Like the idea of like they hang that medal
noose.
around. They
That's kind of
hang.
horrifying.
If they hang, it's like here you go. I'm hanging this medal around your neck. Like it's all downhill from here. Nothing will ever be this
I
dope.
feel like that's
you will
pretty pessimistic.
Well,
but I can.
the guy lost his mind.
But I understand.
Our homeboy Scott Doney lost his fucking mind. My homeboy Brian Galuli is the head coach of the University of Florida dive team.
Right.
Fucking, he's great, man. Yeah, I just talked to him the other day. He's got a girlfriend he loves, and we both have like healthy relationships now, and like.
So
we've
it didn't.
grown up.
Looking back, like when you were on the red carpet, and you're like, it's all downhill from
I
here.
pulled out my
Like, in
dick and I was pissing with my dick on the red carpet in front of my 4-year-old niece who came out with my
shit.
sister and my dad.
Were
My
they
dad's like,
mad?
"What are you doing?"
Why'd you bring your family? Or did you know you were going to do that, or was it like a spur
It
of
was
the
just,
moment?
I've always been tight with my family. I've always been.
They're like us. I'm down with this. They're like, I know Steve.
Well, I mean, my dad was like, "What do you do?" My dad was shocked and appalled and offended.
Well, that's fine. That's a fair.
He's like, what the fuck are you doing here? And he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Dad, it's my red carpet. I'll piss on it if I want." You know. But boy, I spun out of control, man.
So
And
that
you're
was
right.
kind of-
I love how you've got this like healthy kind of mentality, and you're just like, wait, like achievement, like you don't see that, you know, you're just not programmed that way.
But
And
you-
like,
I don't know if I look too.
But we've been there when you have, for example, it's not even close to comparing to that. But like, for example, when we had like a really big video go viral all of a sudden, and then we had that feeling of like, how do you make the next video?
right,
Oh, I've definitely
everything
felt like
is subpar.
We've been there.
I'll never make
but-
a video as good as this.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really discourage me so much. Like, I don't know.
was
It's a different thing, because on YouTube it's like you just keep chugging.
Right,
along.
and then this is
you were like, no more jackass.
Yeah.
Right, this was the hopeful, you know, when my solo time, and I brought it to like this hopeful message because, you know, looking back, that was 11 years ago. And you know, fuck, like how much have I done that was that big or impressive, you know? Like I could look at like, oh, it's been a downhill slide, but over the last 11 years, I've grown up in a lot of meaningful ways, man.
Right.
Like I've become a much better person. Like overall, I have grown as a person.
I mean, it is important to, just like proverbial speaking, there's more achievements
right
than just like making.
than attention whoring.
Then I mean that's like the
I'm a-
basis way to look at it. Yeah.
I'm a professional attention whore. I always have been.
We all are.
Right.
In a way.
And I don't think of that as a bad thing.
But just
I think I'm a good attention whore.
You're a great one.
I'm good at
You're a
fucking
professional.
whoring
Because
for attention.
I love when you're looking for my attention, it's like, oh man, I want to watch, see what this guy's up to.
Right.
The worst ones are the ones where I'm like, I don't want to watch this, but they're in my fucking face.
Right.
Those are the bad ones. You're one of the good ones.
I think that like I pride myself, in particularly with podcasts, for being a pretty strong podcast guest. I think when people say, "Oh, Steve was on the
10 out
podcast,"
of 10, dude.
it's gonna be dope.
Well, first of all,
know?
you've probably seen and done more shit than almost everybody who's ever lived.
Well,
Like
I appreciate that.
I mean, you just have had such an interesting life. You've had so
I've
much
been
shit.
deliberate about making shit notable over the years. So let's bash on some people.
Let's fucking ruin some shit. Right?
Let's let them have it.
So, okay.
Who are we mad at?
We got sidetracked a little bit in the beginning,
Right.
but we were talking about how when Steve-O came over to our house for the first time,
Right.
we were talking about fake pranks.
Right. And I told you a story, and you were like, "Oh my God, say that on my podcast." And I was like, "Oh, I don't want to fucking burn any bridges, you know." I will just say
I'm not going to bend your
no, it's
wrist
fine.
or anything.
It's fine. I'm just gonna. I'll say this: that there are some YouTube personalities at one point that I was trying to make a video with, and we are like, "Oh, what are we gonna do?" And they were like, "Oh, well, we'll do this. We'll just fake it." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Stop!" I got all serious, and I was like, "Look, let's be fucking very clear. Like, if I fake one fucking thing, if I go and put out one fucking thing, and to be clear, by definition, that's presumed to be real,
Yes.
right? Because you can put things out that
Yeah.
are supposed to be fake, and that's
No,
not fake.
yeah,
it's when you're trying to pull the wool over your viewers'
That's
eyes, when
right.
you're deceiving your audience
Exactly.
by presenting something as real when it is not.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
if I do that so much as one fucking time, then everything I've ever done in my career will come into
Super
question.
intelligent
true.
and super great thought.
Everything
Yeah.
I've ever done, and I'm way
Steve-O
so.
faking pranks is obscene.
That would
Dude,
be,
I've
like,
worked so
insane.
hard at, like I've cared so much about my legacy. I've cared so much about my art.
Yes.
That to have everything come into question, there's just no fucking way. And I was like, there's like, And I think that without me having to name names, I think that with your help, particularly you guys, that anybody who's out there and thought that they could get away with presenting things as real, which were not, has subsequently been fucking outed. I think that you can't get away with that.
Absolutely. And they were getting away with it for the longest time. When we
Right.
started doing YouTube videos, nobody was watching us for like years.
Yeah.
And all the shit that was super popular at that time when we first thought about doing YouTube was pranks. That was like the huge thing on YouTube at that time. And they were all just fake. Not only were they fake, they were super toxic. They were all like pranks in the hood or gold digger pranks.
Right.
Where they're like, the world is ugly and it's a fucked up place and black people are violent and women are just money hungry. It's like really not funny. Like they're trying to send a
Mean-spirited
message
and
that wasn't an accurate representation.
Sure.
So it was not only just fake for me, that was only part of it. The part that really pissed me off was like
negative.
faking
message.
that the world is like
Right.
that. Yeah,
Like
all
the
these
Black
horrible
Lives Matter
stereotypes. Yeah.
Right.
And so that was the shit that really set me
And I
up.
think that, like, looking back, I've read some articles, whatever. I've seen some stuff talking about like the sort of the YouTube prank, phenomena, whatever, and how like they really, in so many cases, just totally missed the mark, and I've seen people compare it to Jackass, where. Like I'll even just say like I'm tremendously proud of the Jackass legacy in that we were never mean-spirited.
Yep,
we
I
target
fucking love that.
we targeted ourselves, and we would amuse people, but we would never target people in a mean way, and that's so common.
I think that's why you guys were so inspiring.
right. I think that we
You were
that we
role models in a weird
we were
way.
fucking maniacs,
Yeah.
absolutely crazy fucking maniacs, self-destructive, arguably fucking not a good influence, but we were not. The spirit of what we were doing was so uplifting. Really, I mean,
Absolutely.
it was
Yeah, it was
uplifting.
Well, you were
We
just a
just
couple of
not-
kids having fun.
We were not mean to people,
That's
and
huge.
I think that had everything to do with like I could have crossed that line, and I certainly have. I have plenty, but the creators of Jackass were Spike Jones,
That I fucking
Spike
I admire
Jones,
him so much.
Jeff Tremaine, Johnny Knoxville, and like creative vision. Like they're just so protective of like, wait, hold on, that's dark. You
It's
know,
honestly-
that's dark or that's mean. Like, and they just kept it really, you know, and it's really rad.
Back then, I think it took a lot of foresight and presence of mind and intelligence to be like, let's make sure that the joke's always on us.
Right. Now, I had a thing, and I posted a video, and it really was super well received. We were at the beach in San Diego, and there's this, you know, like to leave the beach, you go up all these spiraling staircases, right? And halfway up is a shower. So my buddy's showering, and I'm on the level above him. I'm looking down, I'm like, dude, I could just fucking pull out my dick and piss on him. He wouldn't even know. You know, he's like, and he just wouldn't even know. He's sitting there, I could piss all over me. It would be hilarious. And then all of a sudden I thought, oh, whoa, this is great. How about a prank where I go around pissing on people?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Right,
Problem.
but that's the thing, and then I figured it out. I was like, okay, you
Well, it's
know,
illegal too if they're strangers.
right, but my mind was going so quickly. They have this thing called the Whiz Inator, where it's like if you want to pass a drug test, you can go in there. It's like it's a fucking a fake, like a prosthetic dick.
Oh, I've heard about that.
It looks exactly like a dick.
Yeah.
It's connected to a bag.
Yeah.
You can warm it up, and you can just if your parole officer.
Have you ever used that like for a real purpose?
Not for real purposes,
Okay.
no. But I went to like the bong shop, like the head shop, and
Yeah.
I bought myself. It's called a Whiz Inator, and so I'm like, okay, so I filled it with warm water.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the beginning of my video, I'm like, this is not my dick, and
Okay.
I blurred it, right? I blurred it
That's
because,
good.
but so it wasn't my dick.
Yeah.
But it looked so. It's so exact. It's designed so that your probation officer can look at your dick and make sure that the piss is coming out of your dick.
What a
It's
great
that
product.
exact. It's that exact. And so I
Not
went around-
sponsoring the show, by the way, just for the record.
Right. So I went to the beach with like hidden cameras, lav mic, and like dudes who were like sleeping, like
God,
reading,
that's
and I just
gnarly.
I just went up to them and fucking and just like with the Whiz Inator, and I squirted warm water like on their foot or
Right,
some shit,
right,
and then
right,
they would
right.
wake up and they would freak out. They see a dick,
Right.
and like, you know, and I like.
How, did you ever get like?
The video's on there. It's called the Golden Shower Prank.
No one
It's
ever
on-
tried to fuck you up from that?
I couldn't wrap the video until I did it to like a muscle dude.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, of course.
And my experience was that everyone woke up and they were initially shocked. They were scared. They backed off. And then they took like a second look and they were like, is that
Processing.
Steve-O?
Okay. Yeah, okay.
And it was like, I got away with it. Like, they were
That's
like,
good.
no way.
The fact that they knew you, they're like, keep going, dog. More.
It got me out of it. They were like, and then at the end, oh my God, like and thank God I didn't just go and put it out and going up to like small dudes. I did it like a real big like military muscle man dude, and I fucking did. And the guy got up and he's like, get over here, and he's like, take off your glasses. And I'm sure he's telling me to take off my glasses so that he can punch me. And to my credit, I stood there and took them off. You know?
Yeah.
I took it, and it was. But now my whole point with it is that as I do regularly, a lot of the time, I'll run something by Knoxville. You know, even Spike. You know, like I'll send it to the guys and be like, hey, you know, can you guys give me notes on this before I put it out? And Knoxville was super not down for the Golden Shower prank.
Because it is a little mean.
Yeah,
It's a little mean-spirited because you're pranking other people.
Right.
Yeah.
And my argument with him, I said, see, I get it, but the thing is that like the twist of it all, it's so like
water.
It's only, of course, it's only water,
Yeah.
and when people. When the whole like unexpected, oh my God, you're Steve, oh wow, this is great, they're giving me hugs and everything.
Yeah.
It really made it light, you know. It made it light, and then at the end, like I went up to, I really rolled the dice with a huge guy. He made me take off my shirt too. I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm about to get my
So
ass
what
kicked.
happened?
Well, he made me take off my shirt. He's like, now turn around. And then once he saw my back tattoo, he's like, you fucker. I was like,
He wanted to
I was
verify
about to
it.
kill you.
So
You know?
it's a prank only Steve-O can do.
I guess.
If some jackass.
But that when I think of that line and how with the YouTube and Knoxville said I'm not backing it, and I was like, you know, I think it's light enough that I'm going to run with it, and there's somehow on YouTube not there's just not that sensibility in place because there were no comments.
opposite.
I mean, not that I read comments. I can't even speak for comments. But the like ratio.
Can we get back to likes as a currency?
Right, likes versus dislikes.
Yeah.
The golden shower prank was like at the top echelon.
Wait, this is on your YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Oh, guys, hit up the golden shower. Let's drop some likes on that.
Oh, dude, drop some likes.
Let's get some likes. Actually,
yeah.
let's watch that. Do you want to watch it?
Go for it, dude.
Forgot to check batteries.
Does that constitute a break?
Nope.
Oh, it doesn't?
Do you want a break?
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to. They can watch it whenever. They can.
No, I like watching stuff, and then we can watch it together and comment on it and shit.
Okay. Well, how about that?
But let me know if you need to go to the bathroom or some shit. You need a break. What do you?
Golden shower prank.
Cool. They can
haven't
see
done-
this.
I haven't done pranks in some time.
But this is like a perfect like fake YouTube prank. Like if some prankster did this, it would definitely be fake.
Well, right, but I never presented it as.
Well, it was
supposed-
real, too.
Oh, you mean
Yeah.
they would put
They
this?
would-
They'd set up the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh
Set up
God.
everything.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
Yeah, exactly.
Stage a reaction.
I
With
really-
somebody with an actor pretending
But
to be a
tell-
monk.
How did you feel when you first saw all that stuff? Like all these pranksters doing all the fake pranks and blowing
Getting
up,
so much
getting
attention,
millions
so
of
much
views.
love. They were on like I remember back in the day they were all on like news channels and shit.
Yeah,
They were
what was the
huge.
year of the prank? It was at like 13 or 14.
It was 14,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
right,
15.
I launched my channel in 2013.
Okay.
God, I was sitting on my idea for my first prank for so long. For years, I
Right.
had the idea to pour into a condom like dishwasher detergent that looks like cum,
Oh God, that's fucked.
and like have a used rubber. And then I went walking around in public, and people would say, "Oh no way, Steve, can I get a photo?" I'd be like, "Of course, man." And dude, check it out.
I love.
And I pull out the condom, and I determined that people want to get a fucking photo with somebody who they recognize from TV so bad. Like I'm handing like.
Hold
I'm
this
not-
for a sec?
Yeah. Oh, dude, hold this
Can
for
you
the
hold this
picture.
for me?
It'll be
Yeah.
dope. And dudes are just grabbing a used rubber.
Dude, I love you. It's like
The
next
condom
level.
prank.
I love where your prank mind's at because you're like, I'm famous. Now I
Ah.
can step my pranks up to the next level and use this.
I mean, I wish that like I did it again. At first, I did the condom one, and like very few people were phased at all. They're like, "Oh yeah, cool,
They're like,
man,
hold
sweet."
up. What do you do though when you're confronted with the dirty?
Right.
It's almost like a
It's
little.
so, dude, I
little
love that
shocking.
one. That was the first
Is
video
that on
I
YouTube
posted.
as well?
It was my very first
Oh,
one I
man.
posted. The
By
condom
the way,
prank.
guys, if you're not acquainted with Steve-O's YouTube channel, check it out. There's honestly amazing content there.
Here's my biggest beef with YouTube, right? And I'm just so fucking mad about this, right? Is that not just the algorithm, not YouTube as an institution, but really the mentality of the YouTube audience is to reward frequency and punish
Yeah.
infrequency. And so it's like when I
interesting thing,
when I approach it, my mentality is like, okay, I don't want to put anything out unless I really think it's top notch. You know,
Right,
I just
right,
wouldn't.
right.
I would not want to insult my audience with like quantity over quality.
Yeah.
And so since I started my channel in 2013, I have posted. In the beginning, it was closer to every 2 weeks, but with no real regularity. And now it's like every 2 months. You know,
I'll tell
2
you.
months. Like I drop a
It's
banger.
not your fault, dude, and it's not the fans. It's YouTube's algorithm. First of all, favors frequency,
Right.
But
And-
I think
and also
it is the audience too, because
It's the audience as well.
I was gonna say because it's a different experience. They want something to watch. Like
I wanted to be the
They
Quentin
But you can-
Tarantino of YouTube.
that's not what they're
no,
looking
I don't
for.
know. I don't know if I would blame. See, this is what YouTube's so insidious because they fuck with your shit, and you don't know if it's them or not, and you end up blaming yourself, or you're like, man, what's going on? It's confusing. But I'll tell you what, pranks are not popular on YouTube right now.
I meant
the pranks shit. They don't show.
Dude, I remember thinking, dude, why'd I go and tell all these like ancient jackass stories when like there's like current stuff on my mind that I wanted to bring up? And there's one thing, because I felt like I had like a little mental list of things to talk about with
Yeah.
you. And the one thing, there's two things that fucking piss me off, and I hate that I'm even bringing it up because There are people I really genuinely like who are culprits of this fucking crime.
That's fair. Look, you know.
People I genuinely like who
Yeah.
are just doing this thing that irks me. Okay,
Let's talk about it.
I
What
don't
is
fucking like it.
I love it. I'm ecstatic. What is it?
I gotta know.
I can't wait.
Artificial positivity.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking
Dude,
I fucking hate it.
That is
Please
that is
smile
an
more.
epidemic. That is an epidemic on YouTube right now.
It's just like,
Smile
oh,
more. Guys,
I'm not even saying smile more because I'm
No,
not
I
as
know.
tuned into that, but it's just like there's
Well, he's
a
the
bunch
king,
of people.
by the way.
There's a bunch.
He's the king.
There's a
He
bunch.
invented Smile More.
There's a bunch.
He sells hats that says Smile More on it. People walking, there's fleets of people walking around with
But,
hats.
but to
yeah,
his
there's a
credit,
bunch.
he's been doing that. That's been his deal for a long time.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just like, oh, guys, your dreams can, if you just dream and believe. And it's like, I mean, I get it. And if anything, like, hey, man, like, I'm a strong believer that there's really no such thing as luck. Luck is just when preparation,
Yeah,
when preparation meets opportunity.
Exactly, yeah,
You
that's
know,
true.
if you're prepared, then when an opportunity presents itself, then
Over
you're gonna,
enough amount of time.
right.
Yeah.
That's that, and I believe in.
Yeah,
in
me
I
too.
believe in fuck dreams. Like a dream is sort of a
Fuck
vague
dreams.
thing
It's more
with
like
no
a noose,
action.
am I right?
You know, like
Dream, more like noose. Got him.
when you have a fucking a dream is like a goal with no fucking elbow grease. You know, a goal is a dream with the fucking actual
Right.
action taking place. You know, and I'm all about all that positive shit. It's just that when people
You have to-
you
you
can
have to
tell
measure
tell
it.
that people are thinking, oh man, like how am I going to get more likes?
Yeah.
How am I going to get more
When they-
likes? How am I going to get
No,
more
it's super
engagement?
fake.
Let me just fucking put on some like, oh,
It's super fake, and the people who
so
sell
fake.
it, I feel like, are miserable generally.
Yeah.
And it's just peddling to the
You know what
fans
I
to be
don't
fake
get?
inspirational.
I don't get the fans who actually believe it.
Well, I mean,
kids,
at
How
least-
can-
kids.
and before I
kids.
bash people too much,
Guess.
let me say at least
don't know.
if you're gonna have this sort of this uplifting thing. I mean, I was deliberately trying to be uplifting. I said I had this nihilist thing
there's
and
a-
everything's gonna be downhill, but
There's an honest way to do it and
Yeah.
a really
right,
kind of dirty
have
way
it
to do it.
have it be pertinent to
Yeah.
what. Have the message be built into what so that it makes sense.
Yeah.
It pertains to what's going on. Don't have a fucking picture of you standing there and then some caption that goes on about fucking positivity and fuck, you know, I don't know. And one other thing, and there's two people I can think of who are so dear to me that this is just gonna break my heart. I know one of them's listening for
Let's
sure.
go.
Please stop fucking jumping on trampolines with fucking stupid. I don't care what you put on the fucking
What are you?
trampoline.
How could you say that? Have you never, Steve-O, how could you say that?
I don't care.
Have you never seen Orbeez on a trampoline?
Wait, what?
Orbeez on a trampoline,
What's
Steve-O?
Orbeez?
It's another cancer.
Let's-
I have seen. So, dude, I was.
You haven't even scratched the
I don't
surface, man.
fucking care what you put on there. I've seen it. and
All I want to know is how many Orbeez can you fit in your swimming pool? That's all I care about.
You should show him. So.
You want to see some Orbeez?
See, that's the
It's
thing.
like hard to.
I wrote a movie script, right? I'm really excited.
Oh.
I'm so thrilled about this movie script, and I had one scene that was really a big scene, and it took place at a state fair. And I was thinking, oh man, like if I'm gonna be at a state fair, I really need to like do a stunt on like a Ferris wheel or a roller coaster, some like big epic
yeah.
thing. And I'm not taking advantage of it. I think it's going to be expensive, and it's just hard. So I was like, I gotta let go of the state fair. And then I thought about my buddy from my circus days, he was the boss clown in the Ringling Circus, and he was like one of the administrators of clown college, and he became the ringmaster of this great circus that has no animals, and you should go see it. It's mostly in California. It's called Circus Vargas. And I was like, oh, cool, man. Like, I can switch this scene from State Fair to circus. And I just looked up, I Googled Circus Vargas. And it happened to be in fucking Burbank that night. So my scriptwriter and I was like, dude, fuck, come on, we're going to the circus. So we went to just like scope everything out and look at everything. And it was fucking so killer. Like, you know, I'm like, okay, so, because in the movie I'm running from the law. And so it's like I get to this circus where the guys, you know, whatever, the guy I'm hitchhiking with, he's got to go there. I come out and the cops chase me into the big tent, and their fucking motorcycles are driving around the globe of death, and the cops are chasing me, and so I'm like, fuck, and I go climb up into the rigging of the fucking of the actual big top, you know?
Right.
We went around and went backstage, like behind everything, and figured it out that I can actually, it's logistically makes sense. I can climb up into the rigging, and the cops come about to me, and so I try to go across the high wire, and
This
fall.
is theoretical planning for your.
Oh yeah, but it all like works logistically
That's-
to shoot. So I made to fact check and figure out and do the research. So I try to go across the high wire to get away from the cops, but I fall, and and then I crawl across. Then I can go up into the rigging, further up into the rigging, and there's like a hatch to come out where the tent pole is.
Right.
Because you know how like there's the peaks of it.
Yeah.
So I can come out to get away from the cops who are all inside the tent.
Right.
I climb up out of so I'm on top of the thing, and I jump up and slide off the whole fucking
That's some
thing.
Jackie Chan shit, dude.
Yeah, slide off the whole thing and fucking eat shit on the ground, and then fucking now I'm outside, so I've got like a real bona fide head start away from the cops, and then like the first trailer, I'm like, oh, I gotta hide. The first trailer I go into is the clown's dressing room,
Right.
and we've established me as a guy who is a history. The character I wrote, who I play, is also a clown. So when I get there,
based on true story.
So then I fucking get in I'm in the clown's dressing room, and I fucking make myself into a clown.
Right.
Come out, and I'm face to face with the fucking head investigator cop who's trying to find me.
That's
and
a
he's
great scene.
holds up a picture of. He's, have you seen this guy? And I'm like, just
That's
shaking my
fucking
head like
great.
no. And so whatever. The thing was, and my reason for telling the story and gratuitously like promoting my efforts to write the script.
Let's go. More clown.
But
I love the clown
and I participated in. I watched the show, like and fuck, I loved it. I've seen Circus Vargas every year. Like I think 3 of the last 4 years, or I don't know, maybe every year.
What is it about the circus that you love? I've actually never been to the circus. I've never seen clowns.
It never occurred to me that I wanted to be a clown. It was that I wanted to be a stuntman, and
that was the way.
And I thought if I could go to clown college, I would be a trained circus professional. That would help me.
So for those of you who don't know, and I find this just one of the many fascinating things that I've learned about you, is that you went to clown college.
I went to Ringling Brothers and Barnum
Which
and
is
Bailey
just
Clown
bananas,
College.
like-
Right.
Clown college.
It was
Yeah.
statistically
I didn't know that was
harder
a thing. I thought it was like a
Statistically,
meme
it was harder to get into clown college than Harvard.
Ah,
Right. But no, so now I'm at Circus Vargas, and this is only a couple months ago, if that, and they had a trampoline act. Right? They had a fucking trampoline act. And these world-class motherfuckers, these world-class fucking guys, just the level of acrobatic fucking ability. And mind you, like the circus community just would... There's no way that they would want to be on YouTube, because then if you can see it on YouTube, why would you go buy a ticket and go see the circus? So they're trying to avoid. And I'm just thinking in my mind to compare these fucking people with, this time we put cornflakes on the fucking trampoline.
it's personal for you. You're invested.
Well,
You're
yeah,
in
I'm
that
like,
clown world.
I'm like, oh my god, like these fucking this trampoline.
They're
act.
disrespecting the art.
Well, I mean, I don't know if they're disrespecting it. They're getting views, but to put
getting
it side by
likes, though?
side, these fucking like quadruple twisting, fucking triple pike backflips,
Right.
fucking going on, and they're just every bounce is. It's just incredible. It's impressive.
I gotta check that out.
And then these assholes flopping themselves onto a fucking trampoline that happens to have some shit laid on it. Okay, my rant is over, but
Well,
please,
what is it
please, and to the YouTube audience, stop
It's
watching.
kids. So I have this thing that I was.
Just don't watch. If it says trampoline covered in some bullshit, just don't click it.
Right?
Sounds like
what can you do? What
You've
can
watched
you do?
more trampoline videos than anyone on YouTube. You're the biggest consumer. Here's the thing about I have a
Get
theory
the views though.
on
What can you
YouTube.
do?
Whenever you see something like that you can't explain, it's so stupid. You're like, who the fuck is watching this? The answer is only and every time one thing: kids.
Okay, I mean, it was dope for a while, but now at this point, we have seen trampolines covered in fucking shit.
Literally shit. Yeah.
I actually haven't seen.
I actually haven't
we
seen one.
haven't seen shit.
Well, it sounds like it sounds. Well, see, there's still territory to explore. It sounds like.
I will make one exception for the poo-poo trampoline.
New idea for Steve-O's YouTube channel. Just lock it up. That one ends the whole thing.
Well, shit is not brand friendly, so those guys are not gonna do that.
Right. I was stoked to get in on a trampoline video with my homeboys, the Juke Squad, who
You're
are
in so deep to the trampoline world.
to their credit, my homeboy Jack Tenney of the Juke Squad really single-handedly started the trampoline versus phenomenon.
Wow.
And I'm not mad at him for that. I'm just mad at everybody fucking
That's how it is.
trying to wring
Dude,
out.
What's the dumbest
Trying
one?
to stretch the fucking the lifespan.
Just milk it, yeah. I mean,
just wringing out every last drop.
this is how it is on YouTube, though. Any time, like the fidget spinner shit, the one of the most obscene ones was the heating up shit.
Yeah, the knife.
The knife was.
I'm pretty
was
proud of
insane.
what I did with Jack Tenney, though. I was like, hey, let's do something new with the trampoline, and we built it onto a fucking pickup truck.
I saw that.
And we
Yeah.
fucking like pretty high speed fucking moving pickup truck with the trampoline mounted onto it and bounced off a bridge.
I saw that. You got in trouble with the police for that, right?
Oh, dude, I'm such a maniac. I'm such a fucking maniac. I'm on probation, right?
How just for the
Yeah,
record,
it wasn't that. It wasn't that
It
high.
looked
was
pretty
like,
gnarly in the
It was
video.
maybe 30 feet, like probably between 25.
You
30
jumped
feet.
from an overpass into a
But
river
with the speed of the truck, I didn't just fall down. You can see in the video I went
you got
diagonally.
fucked. You had speed.
Oh, dude, I ate shit. I ate shit.
You
It
ate,
actually,
yeah.
landing on water made me bleed. There was the only time in my
I
life that happened. But
And then the police. How did it end up
no,
that the
see,
police got on your ass for that?
right, well, this is the thing. I'm on probation from something I did in 2015,
Christ.
where I climbed up a crane. And
Jesus.
to protest SeaWorld and be an attention whore, I brought
Well-
an inflatable killer whale up on this crane, and like 80 firefighters, 18 cops, a helicopter, and a SWAT team all converged on this
SWAT
fucking,
team. That's
yeah,
important.
right.
We're gonna shoot your ass.
Well, they didn't know
if
it
you
was
don't
me
come down.
because I was
Okay.
150 feet up in the air on top of a fucking
I
crane.
love
They
that you're
didn't
on
know who it was.
probation for actually doing like activist shit.
Right. Well, it was like it wasn't pure activism. It was attention whoring meets activism.
Okay, that's nice. That's a little touch of a
Right.
mission statement there.
Exactly. Yeah, and I do believe in it. So it's not.
Well,
it's,
SeaWorld is fucked now,
It
right?
doesn't fail to be authentic. It was authentic. But so in any case, if I get arrested for some bullshit, then I'll violate my probation and my life will be arguably difficult.
Hmm.
But I was like, when I jumped off the trampoline off the moving bridge, I thought, man, if ever there was a cool thing to violate my probation for, this was it. So I sent the video to TMZ. And I was like, hey guys, here's this video. Like nobody's seen it. I'm not going to post it for a couple more days. So you guys can have like a 48-hour exclusive for TMZ if you want to run this video. And what makes it particularly like notable and newsworthy is that it clearly constitutes a violation of my probation. So I fed it to TMZ with the footage and told them like that what makes it newsworthy is that it's totally against the law and should violate my I tried to
You're like,
violate my own
please.
probation.
Yeah.
Like I'm a maniac. And then as soon as I sent that, I was like, what am I doing? What am I
That
doing?
wasn't that long
I'm
ago,
fucking
was it?
Yeah, no.
Okay, all right, just
I'm
to
like,
be
what am I
clear.
doing? I'm nuts. This is fucking crazy. Like I'm out of my mind. And thankfully the county in Florida where this happened determined that since nobody called it in, and since like and I forget what the name of the county is, but it's like south of Tampa, and on the west coast of Florida. And I went to the Twitter because I was copied in some things, being like, oh, they're investigating, right? And so I clicked their Twitter link, and it actually said on their header, like their bio, whatever for Twitter, is that they are mindful. Like as a whatever, a police department, they're mindful to not waste the money of the taxpayers.
That's dope.
And they're like, this just isn't fucking worth it.
That's a
They
great,
said-
wonderful attitude.
They said nobody fucking called it in. It wasn't fucking worth our time. We just didn't. Nobody got hurt. We don't care.
Yeah.
And so the thing was that I was off the hook.
That's actually awesome. God bless them.
Right. God bless them.
I didn't
And-
understand that. I thought they came after you, but it turns out they were great.
Did not.
Yeah.
They did not. There have been different things where they did come after me, but yeah, that was a particularly reckless case of me trying to violate my probation. I just,
That is pretty wild. I don't know about that
right.
one.
I'm an idiot.
I'm
The
surprised you said it.
wildest part is that you chose to message TMZ.
And
Right.
also,
That's
I
like,
thought you
feel
had
like
beef with
everyone is
TMZ,
like
or at
running
least
away
some.
from them.
Based on.
They seem like such douchebags, right?
Well, no. When Ryan Dunn passed away, I mean, I saw that story how they rung you up in the middle of the night,
Right.
and they're like,
Right.
"Did you know that your friend died?" And you're like,
Right.
"That
That was shitty.
It sounds really shitty."
That was shitty. That was how I found out. that my buddy died was because 6 o'clock in the morning my phone rang. I was totally asleep, and I woke up and they said, "Hey, it's TMZ. We're calling for a comment. Can we get you to comment on your buddy's death?" And I just woke up to that, and I was like, "Huh? Like, what are you talking about?" And I was like, "No, I can't comment," And I woke up, and sure enough, that was the case. That was.
Did you
shitty.
believe it at first? Like, what was going through your head then?
I mean, I didn't want to believe it. I didn't I don't know. I just it was all just and then sure enough, it was real, and that was a fucking piece of shit thing to do.
Really?
It was a piece of shit way to handle that situation, but I don't know. Do I have beef with TMZ for that? I don't know. I think that my relationship with TMZ, I should say that's where I get my news.
Good.
Really?
I'm not. Yeah, I wake up in the morning.
Been to TMZ.
Dude, I go to TMZ. That's where I get my news. They are they're absolutely piece of shit people, right?
That's all I know.
They are a piece of shit institution, which does piece of shit things. But with that said, their journalistic integrity is sound.
They're true. They don't lie.
They do not lie.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Really?
They have journalistic.
They've broken some big stories, actually.
They've broken a lot of big
They don't
stories.
lie. They're like a tabloid that doesn't mix it up.
They are a piece of shit tabloid that has a virtually impeccable record.
That's pretty amazing.
For journalistic integrity insofar as reporting what is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to that effect, I believe everything I see on there. Is it appropriate? Is it spiritually like the high road? No. But is there something compelling about learning of the misfortune of others? Absolutely.
Of course. Why do you think I watch YouTube?
Why do you think I watch you?
Yeah, right. That's all. I curate. That's all we do, man.
Right. So it is what it is, man. And I should say as a consumer of media, I believe in I'm entertained by TMZ and it's factually correct. And as a mongerer of media attention, it's a tool, man. And if I've got something that I did, I like to take a couple days to edit my video, and so why wouldn't I give them a 48-hour head start?
I mean, no, it's not exactly.
It's a tool.
You can't hold a grudge against them. There's one of these things where it's like tons of people.
I don't.
Yeah.
And even the Ryan Dunn debacle.
It's different people making different choices,
I held it personally against the one person who made that phone call, but I let that go a long time ago, and I just. It was a bad judgment call on that one person, but I didn't hold that as a grudge.
Yeah. I remember seeing that clip of you talking about it. I found it fascinating. Just that whole situation was like so fucked.
Right. Yeah.
Such a shitty.
Right.
Just almost hilariously shitty thing.
Super shitty, and here we are, fucking 3 days. 3 days ago was the anniversary of Ryan's death.
Wow.
So the day we're talking about was 6 years and 3 days ago.
Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy how time flies, man.
Almost seems like long and short at the same time.
Right.
When I heard about it.
It's so fucking crazy how time flies, man. I'm at a point. I've been clean and sober for 9 years now.
I'll clap for that.
Well, thanks,
That's sick, man.
I don't know that it's a clap or something. I heard someone make the distinction that they're not proud of their sobriety, rather they're grateful for it, and I identify with that.
Interesting. Well, what do you mean by that?
Well, it's someone like this is a dear friend of mine, maybe my favorite sober guy. Who's an entertainment lawyer, has been sober for over 30 years. And he said that he went out to dinner with a woman and mentioned that he had been sober. He said, I don't even know why I mentioned it, I just did. And she said, oh, wow, you got to be so proud. He said, no, I'm not proud, I'm grateful. She said, no, really, come on, that's a big deal. She kept pestering about it. Come on, really, you got to be proud, that's a big deal. Come on, give yourself some credit.
Right.
Yeah. He says, no, I'm not proud, I'm grateful. He said it a few times, and then all of a sudden he finally said, look, how did he put it?
Grateful.
He said, look, being proud of an alcoholic for staying sober is like being proud of a cowboy with hemorrhoids for staying off a horse. The cowboy who has hemorrhoids is grateful that he's managed to stay off the horse.
Right.
He's not proud of it.
Grateful implies in some way that you don't take credit for it, though.
Well, yeah, and you know, why should you?
Do you feel like you don't take credit for it at all?
The thing about alcoholism, which is like long proven many fucking years ago, is that the alcoholic of his own personal power cannot combat alcoholism. We cannot stay sober alone. Like, we try to do it on our own. We get loaded every time. It's when we get together with other alcoholics and we do it together as a fellowship, as a community, as people helping. That's how we stay sober, is by helping other people get sober.
Was that the drug?
So we don't do it. We don't do it by ourselves, and so why would we take credit ourselves?
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like a community effort.
We cannot do it by ourselves.
That's a beautiful insight. That makes a lot of sense.
It's so important too. It's so important that you not try to do it by yourself.
Okay, that totally explains it. Yeah. Dude, was that the
No,
drug?
I feel bad. I feel like if I'm bashing on the trampoline. If people like
Back
trampoline,
to the trampoline.
If people like trampoline videos, if they like trampoline videos,
nobody cares about the trampoline.
If there's demand for it,
fuck
then
the trampolines. Go to all the trampoline videos on YouTube, and I want you to smash that dislike.
Let's talk more shit. What else do you hate?
What else do I hate? I think that you and you guys, like,
We have the same taste of hate.
I do. And can we give ourselves a pat on the back for fucking absolutely eviscerating the part Daddy of Five?
Fuck. Did you hear the aftermath of all that? How that all went down?
They lost their child.
Super conflicted about that.
How did you feel about that?
Yeah,
Seriously?
I had very conflicted feelings.
I don't think that.
First of all, we had
So
nothing
you're
to
saying
do.
you're saying that you have feelings of guilt for that?
No, I'm conflicted about, like, is that a good thing or not? I don't think me and you hold any
That was
responsibility.
going to happen anyway. It was so flagrant.
First of all, our approach to that was, like, very much in the spirit of Jackass, like you were saying. Like, we weren't mean. I think we approached it in a really funny, responsible
No, dude, there was
way.
nothing comparable about Jackass and what we did to the Daddy of Five.
I mean, in the spirit
There's
of
nothing comparable about it, because Jackass is something that that you contrive.
What they did is not comparable. Is that what you mean?
Oh, well, of course that's not comparable. But I'm saying the video that you and I made together, it was a reaction video.
Mm-hmm.
Jackass stuff, we create something from scratch, and it's got its own premise or whatever it is. It's its own thing. Like, whereas what we did was way more journalistic. It's like, okay, now let's take a look at
Agreed.
something separate that exists on its own, and
What I mean is, like, the spirit. It wasn't.
It was an expose.
Yeah,
it was an expose. Yeah. We outed them. We drew attention to something which is, like, black and white fucking wrong. I would say that we passed judgment on it, but there was no judgment to make. It was so clearly fucking wrong.
I mean, the intention of the video for me going in was to be funny. I didn't want it to be, like, overbearing, like, depressed. Like, look, I don't want people to go.
And that was why when you said something at the beginning of the podcast about where we felt like it was going badly. I expressed concern when we made the video, like, oh, dude, I don't know if this kicks ass. Like, I'm worried, like, that we didn't make a good video. And you said, oh, don't worry about it. I think that's where that came from. Is that it was such a serious subject that we were dealing with.
Yeah,
it was so,
really
like,
heavy.
dark.
You had
it was so dark, and I was like, oh man, I felt like I wasn't funny. And it's like, oh yeah, that's why we were talking about child abuse.
Yes,
of course we weren't fucking.
You made that comment to me after we had posted the video.
Right.
I think I was on the phone, and you're like, man, I realized finally why I felt like I couldn't be funny.
Because
we were watching actual child abuse. And I was like, yeah, dude, all things considered, I think we did a pretty good job.
Yeah. Right, and so there was a big backlash for that, and of course, that's great. I guess
How do you feel?
Child services came and took their kids away.
Okay, let me just say, preface, I don't feel responsible at all for what happened, but how do you feel about them losing their kids? And apparently...
I don't think that that's a permanent situation where they lost their kids. I don't...
They went and lived with their mom, who's apparently also a total loser, piece of shit, alcoholic, lunatic, which is why they weren't with her at the beginning. So they took the kids away from the dad, who was making money, on YouTube. They were making a good living, and now
Were they really making that much?
Yeah. They were. I mean, they were making enough for
they must have,
for a family in fucking Arkansas or whatever.
Well, you know what? Here's a.
But the kids went and moved in with their shithole mom.
Here's a bigger picture question to ask. You know, do I feel bad about that? Like no, of course not. Because look what they did. The bigger question is, like how is it that for some people, like a fuck up means the absolute end of you're done and that's it. You're never coming back. And then there's Chris Brown.
Chris First of all, Chris Brown's a piece of shit, and fuck that guy.
Well, I completely agree. And again, I think
I agree with you completely.
Our sensibilities are aligned. But my question is, Chris Brown, okay, he look what he did to Rihanna's fucking face.
He beat her nearly to death.
He beat her fucking so bad. Like, there's no way you can like hit someone in the face that hard and not do some kind of brain damage.
Dude, I was reading the police report.
And then and it was not an isolated incident where like you can explain it away as one thing. There's just been thing after thing after thing after thing where it all points to the same fucking pattern of that's just the kind of guy he is. Yet he
Why does it happen? Popularity. People like him. Nobody gives a fuck about Daddy 5.
And he just
people want to fuck him.
Not only does Chris Brown continue to have like concerts in arenas,
he's more successful than ever.
He sells out arenas, and mostly I think that the gender ratio at a Chris Brown concert is largely female.
Yep.
When I first heard about it,
forgivable?
I had no idea we
not.
were doing the reaction video to DJ Khaled's first video, and Chris Brown was in it, and I didn't know who
that
it was.
Before the beating.
It was?
Yeah. The very first one with Chris Brown, that was before he beat the shit out of Rihanna.
So maybe on a different one? Because I remember...
Because that was in 2009. I remember finding out about that.
No,
I was
it was before.
Are you serious?
You were the one who told me about it.
Oh, fuck me.
I'm pretty sure. That's what I was going to say.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a total piece of shit. And the same year, dog.
Well, anyway, my point was that I was shocked that happened, and he still was making like really popular music.
More popular than ever.
And I never even heard about the whole thing. I just
the same year he beat the shit out of Rihanna. Several months later, he was hosting and performing at the Grammys.
Right.
And people were applauding him.
Right. I mean, and what's it like Mel Gibson?
What were you going to say? You said I shouldn't say this, so now I need you to say it. What do you got? What's the juice, baby?
It's nothing particularly. It's just it would give up where I live. That I live in the neighborhood. I moved.
Oh, you live near
Chris Brown. Chris Brown had and this was something that if you get your news from TMZ, you would know that he famously was spray painting graffiti on his own house.
Okay.
There's a big wall of his own house, and he was spray painting. He's a pretty talented artist, right? Like he's these monster characters.
Interesting.
And apparently, it terrified all the neighbors were complaining that their kids were scared because these scary monsters were painted, and it was just unsightly. And he's just the worst neighbor ever.
Okay.
And I moved very, very close into the same neighborhood. At the point when I bought my house just over 3 years ago, Chris Brown was in jail and selling the house. So he was never there after I moved in.
Got it.
But I just have more of a, oh my God, right in the fucking, this particularly fucking pisses me off, and it's not a known fact about Chris Brown. He spent $50,000 at this old house to build a fucking huge cage, ostensibly to breed pit bulls.
What a fucking loser.
To breed
That's like the low-lifest thing ever. Participating in dog fights.
It had Michael Vick written all over it, dude.
My God.
For dog fights?
Okay, you don't know about dog fights? So it's like
to breed pit bulls, and it's just like I've seen it all the time because I go hiking around there.
So you know about, first of all, this episode of Seinfeld with the cockfighting.
Yeah.
So it's like this whole. Yeah. It used to be illegal. It's a total sociopath thing where they breed fighting dogs to fight and kill each other in the ring, and you bet on them. Mm-hmm. So it's extremely illegal now, but it still happens underground. And it's like you have to be a real sicko to get pleasure out of that.
So he had that.
No, we should say that we don't know.
You heard it here.
You don't know for a fact that that's right. Like breeding pit bulls and fighting pit bulls is two different things.
Let's just say. We're drawing.
It's hard. We can't arrive at a conclusion.
We're drawing a conclusion.
Right, where there's no evidence.
In our opinions, that seems a likely conclusion from.
I would would have suspicion. I would have
Very good.
suspicion.
Can you imagine
that-
getting sued by Chris Brown? Fuck.
Oh my God.
Get in line, Doug.
Right. I mean, I can't say for it at all. Well, like there's definite, but apparently, like I don't know.
I can see him
said,
doing that.
Someone said he's. Yeah, I can totally see it too.
Yeah.
And he spent, I heard, $50,000 to build this fucking ridiculous cage. And as soon as he put dogs into it, apparently they just were crying so loud,
Ugh.
and so perpetually, just nonstop
great ambiance
crying
for the
and
neighborhood.
crying that it was just a misfire, and that he put him in there, and he just couldn't
was
keep
too
him in there.
scary
And
for
so
the
this
dog.
cage remains. There've been two owners. Someone bought the house, a dude, and then that owner sold it to who's the now owner, who's a woman.
Right.
And the entire interior of the house has the same graffiti, like painted all these characters all over the walls, in the house, in the garage. And I know for a fact that the first owner who bought it from him kept that preserved.
He was into that.
Preserved. I don't know if the woman who now lives in it has painted over.
I have to imagine
Right?
that's probably a repaint.
I don't know. No,
I'm really
I would have to imagine that she kept it.
I'm really curious.
One
I
of the
wanna know what
tens
it
of
looks like.
thousands of women.
I'm gonna Chris Brown.
Interior
graffiti.
Chris. This house is so fucking tall. It is so fucking tall that, like, to live in it, I can't believe that Chris Brown put on any weight while he was living there, because he got a little bit chunky at one point.
Did he really?
You're doing
Chubby
nothing.
Brown?
You're doing nothing
Okay,
but
let me have a
climbing
look.
stairs.
Here, I'm gonna show you guys Chris Brown graffiti.
Right.
'Cause now I want to.
You'll see there's outside the house and there's also inside the house.
If I'm buying a beautiful
And the other,
house in a nice neighborhood, I'm not sure I want this on my adoring my hallways. But I guess I wouldn't buy the fucking house.
what I don't understand. Okay, that's
What do you-
not it. That's not it.
Okay.
It's his house.
This.
You want to say Chris Brown? No, that's not his house either. I don't think.
Well, I mean here.
Chris Brown's house,
Okay, Chris Brown.
not his graffiti.
But why
Chris
are-
Brown's house. Chris Brown's house.
Well, it's his old
graffiti.
house, right?
Yeah, there it is.
Which one?
With the middle with the Lamborghini right there.
Here.
Yeah,
Oh, that's hideous.
right.
Well, let me have a look.
That's
But
his
what's
house.
the problem with the graffiti? I don't get that one.
It scared because the neighbors just hated him because
Well, it's a
because
rich white
on.
neighborhood, probably.
it's
Come
not that. That's the other thing that's surprising is considering how like he sells out arenas and shit. The house, like, he sold it for I think 1.5 million.
That looks like way
That
more.
seems a
than
little bit too
1.5.
sensitive of the
No.
neighbors to
Well,
be
first of all,
mad.
I wouldn't complain, but when you get into like these weird, like rich upper class neighborhoods, like this is like some
not-
urban shit.
This is east of the
these
101.
are stuffy ass fucks.
It's east of the 101 where real estate is way less than if
Really?
yeah, it's like I'm surprised he didn't have a more expensive house. But the neighbors fucking hated him so much because at all hours in the night, it's fucking parties. It's just like the whole road is just blocked
what I
off
heard?
with cars parked, and it's just music
I
and
can
loud.
imagine
And
that,
and people
yeah.
would like would say like, please, can you tone it down? And he'd be like, fuck you, dude. You
I
know?
will beat you to shit.
Yeah, right.
Well, there's this one great story. Do you know who J. Cole is?
No.
Famous rapper. And he
You got to see the interior of the house, though. Chris
has
Brown
this
interior.
I'm gonna find pic, but he has this story where he bought a house in like a nice suburb of L.A. and he was chilling, minding his own business, and the fucking neighbors called the police because they said that he's selling drugs at his house, and so the police all raided his house without any evidence of it. So it's like I don't
Just
know.
'cause he's
they're
a ra-
suspicious. I think if
just
you,
a
in this-
rapper in like a nice neighborhood
Yeah.
is immediately a drug dealer.
Right.
I think that suspicion is real in neighborhoods like that.
Well, like there's no suspicion going on with.
Oh, here you go. Oh, it's kind of nice actually. It's styled. It's not just
Right.
like all over the fucking place.
I would keep it probably.
That's kind of it's kind of dope.
I mean, he's a type. Dude, and let's give him props where he deserves them. Chris Brown can dance, dude. I've never like if there's ever a point like where it came to my attention that Chris Brown.
Chris Brown is
music
getting a
was
lot of
playing.
play this podcast.
Right. If ever I
Chris
came to
Brown
realize
celebration
that
episode.
there was a Chris Brown song, like I insist it be turned off. I can't name a single song. I don't know.
Well, he
anything.
always does the same thing. He
But
always
I
like,
have seen him dance, and it's fucking impressive.
yeah, he can dance,
Yeah.
and he's a little
Two things-
dangerous too. He's like, oh shit, dude can dance. He's a little
And,
dangerous.
and he's
I
on
wouldn't mind.
drugs like a motherfucker.
But do you know what people were saying after he beat the shit out of Rihanna? They're like, you can like that bitch should stop whining. I'd let you beat me anytime. Like this kind of
Ugh,
shit.
that's gross.
Right.
But this, I mean, it's sick,
That's
man.
gross.
Right.
It's sick. The women were the
let's
ones
get off
defending
Chris
him.
Brown. Who else has been forgiven for just
So yeah,
unforgivable
Roman
shit?
Polanski was raping kids, and now people still work with him. Here's a great one that fucking drives me crazy. Bryan Singer, producer of the X-Files and a ton, or X-Men.
X-Men.
Sorry, not X-Files, X-Men. He's a producer and creator of a ton of shit.
There's a really good documentary
Dude
about it.
has hung out with known serial pedophile child rapists, okay? This guy has been known to hang out at these Hollywood parties with underage kids on drugs where they fuck kids.
Oh yeah.
And he's still working in Hollywood. Everybody knows this guy. I mean, okay, again, it was one of these alleged.
I'm not familiar with this story.
He has a incredible resume on the shit he's worked on.
Right.
Again, it's one of
but
these.
again,
It's one of these
our-
situations where it's like allegedly, but
Our
he's
sensibilities,
at all those
like
parties.
when you call something out, I'm right there with you.
But the
I
thing,
think we're perfectly aligned
Yeah.
in our hatred for
well, it's
things.
rational. It's like,
Right.
you know,
Right.
it's not a
You're,
mystery.
you're the internet police.
Thanks, Doug.
Yeah, I think you
Let's
make
get
the
'em.
internet a better place.
This guy really pissed me off. This Bryan Singer guy. Let me tell you, like there's been a ton of accounts. He's at the parties. He's with these kids, and he's working with the biggest stars in the world. They're still working with him. It's the same thing with Polanski.
What was the name of the documentary we saw?
I don't
Some people
remember.
would
It was so
add
good
Woody
about
Allen
it.
to that list.
So the thing that's fascinating about Woody Allen, if you guys don't know the story, he was married to a woman, and they had together. She had a 13-year-old. Or
She had an adopted. She
it-
had an adopted Asian child. It was Mia Farrow, right?
It was his.
And
It was
she-
her.
Mia Farrow adopted an Asian child.
It was
and
his
then
stepdaughter.
He left Mia Farrow and married his own
His
stepdaughter.
underage
Yeah.
stepdaughter. But here, so that shit's
But
just.
she was adopted, so it's not.
I
Like,
didn't know that. But
Yeah.
here's where that story
I
gets
think she was
interesting.
adopted. I don't know.
That shit alone, like that information is disgusting and weird as hell. But
Right.
this is when it gets interesting for me. They stayed together.
Right? I think they're still together.
So in a way, I'm like, oh, okay, there was actually something there, right?
True love.
Like if he,
Right.
like I mean, really, if they stayed together for 50 years,
Right. I mean, now look at Beauty and the Beast. The Beast was a fucking tough character to root for.
Yeah.
I went to go see that movie and I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
this
why
is
should you want to
Yeah.
fuck this guy?
Right?
It's a Chris Brown
He's a-
situation.
The guy starts out as a complete fucking asshole.
No redeeming qualities, and he's
Nothing
he's a literal monster.
And then after he turns into a beast, he's just still a fucking dick.
Nothing redeeming. This is kind of a deep analogy. What's going on here? This is the Chris Brown shit. Girls want a
Right.
monster that is terrifying, but
Right.
rich.
And then even when he kind of
He's got a castle. That's all he has going for him.
Even when he comes around at the end and starts being kind of cool, it's very begrudging.
He's very cold. He's got a problem.
He's a dick.
Like like he's the kind of guy who'd be like, "I love you, baby," and then maybe you fucking serve
dick.
dinner a little cold and you catch one on the chin,
Right? Yeah.
and then he's like, "You
Right in
shouldn't
the
have served me a
fucking
cold dinner."
face.
So
By the
the
way, that documentary is called An Open Secret.
an open secret.
Ooh, an open secret.
Fascinating.
What's that?
It's this.
You should watch
it's this
it.
movie about these producers and managers in Hollywood who are fucking kids. That's talking about this guy Bryan Singer.
I love documentaries, man.
Yeah.
This one is disturbing and
For
fascinating.
the longest time, man, I had a boycott against fiction, citing that there's so much about the world that I want to learn.
heard that before, yeah, I've heard
right? I mean, fuck, I don't want to be. People are so ignorant. You know,
I'm ignorant. I openly acknowledge that.
Yeah, I'm ignorant. I want to learn about shit that actually happened. I don't have time to learn about shit that didn't.
By the way, dude, that's a really, I think, a smart thing.
Yeah.
And it's really just as entertaining. So you might as
Right.
well. But that's, I think,
But then I fucking and I
There's
had
some-
a Kindle and I was reading. I actually broke down a thing and I actually was okay. I'll read a fiction book, and I got roped into it. And then I was like, fuck. And then I got an iPad and then I started watching Breaking Bad. And it's been all.
fiction.
What's
I mean, there's some
your
good
favorite
stories.
TV show? I would trust your judgment on a TV show.
So, okay,
You too,
across
you love-
all
let me-
genres,
Let me say that when I say about your sensibility, I mean you both.
that's sick. Well, me and
Thank
Ela
you.
definitely
Right?
have
You guys
the same
are
sense of-
clearly
We're
aligned.
like one person.
We come together and decide these things. This isn't something, this
Right.
this is a
I'll
we
tell
take this thing
you
very seriously.
But the absolute fucking quality TV show, I'm gonna say number one. Ooh,
I have an answer for this, but I'm curious what you
I'm
think.
going with The Nick.
The Nick.
The Nick.
This is across all genres. I don't know what the Nick is.
I don't like the Nick. It's okay. It's short for Knickerbocker Hospital. This is a fucking period piece drama set.
It's a drama
at the turn of the century,
wow.
year 1900. It's partially based on true events, as in the year 1900. They were just experimenting with what are now commonplace medical procedures, but through trial and error, like the modern medicine is sort of becoming shaping. There's like, it's fucking fascinating. It's so good.
Is it a new show?
I can't believe it wasn't more like insanely popular.
The Nick.
Two
I'm watch
seasons.
that shit.
Yeah, there's 2 seasons. It's fucking incredible.
So I think our favorite like dramatic show is probably The Wire.
I couldn't do it, man.
It starts off
Try again.
so slow.
I made it like
Try
5.
again.
Everybody was so
No,
down.
I know.
again.
I made it
Dude,
5
I
episodes. I
restarted.
made like 5
Start
episodes.
over.
I'm like, what
I
the
restarted that show many times.
Yeah.
And I
before
was
got
so
hooked in.
pissed because I'm like, how can the lead fucking actor struggle with English so much if he's from Baltimore? Why is the guy fucking barely able to talk?
I didn't have that
This
experience.
Dominic fucking guy?
Is he not
main guy.
American?
He's not American. He's like,
What an imposter.
The first time we tried watching it, I didn't understand anything, and I was like,
Well,
I'm done. I'm not watching it. But
by
then
the way-
we started over and we watched it with English subtitles.
Yeah. That's actually
It
true. You
really
miss a
helps.
lot. The dialogue is so
Yeah.
dense. It is really like reading a book. You know Stringer Bell? You remember that character? He's like this gnarly
I
Brooklyn
fucking hated it.
black guy.
You gotta watch
But
it again.
he's
There we are.
English,
There we are,
too.
not on the same page.
Okay,
I'm
well,
telling
fuck.
you, you'll love
your
it.
trust is misplaced in us. Other than that, let me try again.
Okay. My trust is not misplaced.
Well, favorite show of all time is Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll back that.
Favorite drama of all time? It's underwhelming, you know. It's for me, the Seinfeld is like the
It's like
Beatles of
Beatles.
television. You know,
You know what
it's
I
like you
really
can't
enjoy-
argue.
What I really enjoyed, even though it slowed down in the middle, was the young Pope.
I was enjoying that. Ela made me turn it off.
Oh yeah, why?
She wasn't into it. She wasn't
It
feeling
slowed
it.
down in the middle, but boy,
I was
man,
into
fuck,
the-
it just kind of it all just came together for the most fantastic end.
I didn't. Yeah, I
I'm not-
made it
I
in
like
like 3 eps, and I was starting to get in, and Ela's like, "Turn this shit off."
Dude,
Then she hit me.
it was fascinating,
And I was
man.
like,
Can you
Ela.
imagine they put this guy in place because they think they can control him, and then all of a sudden it just
He's
blows
a
up in their
lunatic. Yeah, I
face.
was really enjoying. The
I
premise
hate-
is really interesting.
I can't stand when...
And I read. I waited until I finished the whole season. I waited until it was over because I didn't want to ruin anything with spoilers. But the whole time I was watching, I was thinking, oh my God, they filmed this in Vatican City. Like so much of it, they're on location making this, which got to be considered fucking ultimate blasphemy.
Kind of, yeah.
The most
Yeah,
disrespect.
yeah.
This had to be the most fucking controversial, and I was dying to research the backlash of.
Was
this.
there? Did you ever find out?
And then what I did come to realize, when I read, I waited until it was over. Then I Googled controversy, young Pope HBO, and apparently on the network that aired it in Italy, it was just so fucking insanely popular.
Oh,
And
the Italians
and it
loved
was
it.
and they said that the Pope himself was silent about it. You know, he didn't speak up one way or another. And the guests, whatever, like they speculated that the Pope was utterly pleased with it.
The Pope is dope. We have a dope Pope.
They were.
He's actually sick as fuck.
I love the.
He's a dope Pope.
And dude,
Those
just
don't come around every once.
those are like the 2 shows I named, the Young Pope and the Nick. Like visually, the fuck, dude, what the
I have to
budget on
check
that?
Oh god, yeah. But what great dramatic shows do we love? You know
And
what?
Jude Law is the most incredible
Yeah,
fucking actor.
that guy's been through like big transformations all throughout his career. He's one of those really interesting actors.
Unbelievable.
Yo, I got to do this read really
Yeah.
fast. Let me
All right.
let me just get this out of here. You want? Should we take? You
And
want
after
pee?
that, we should get into the spooks.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that. Okay, here we go, guys.
All right, I'm gonna pee, dog.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
That coffee better be hot, motherfucker.
It should be. Guys, today I bring to you a gracious and wonderful sponsor who has supported our show and makes all this possible. Steve-O's come out here. He's a great guy. He's blessed us with his presence here on this podcast today, and we thank our sponsors for that. Today, Steve-O's back. He wants in on this. The Black Tux. This is a really interesting service, guys, okay? You ever go, you're getting to a wedding, you're going to an event, you go to a bar mitzvah, It's a nightmare. What's up? How we doing? Okay, thanks, Zach. We're getting a little camera adjustment. This is really important. You go to a wedding, you go to bar mitzvah, you have to go in and try on a suit. It's a nightmare. You go, you fit it, you go, you come back, and it's usually very expensive. So what this company does, the Black Tux, what's their URL? blacktux.com/H3. Make it happen, Yila.
Do we still have mods
So
here?
this is a really cool service where you basically go on their website, you choose a tux you like, you choose the size, they send it to you well before your event, and then you get to try it on. If it doesn't fit, if you don't like the style, you send it back and they give you a new style for free. Okay? Sick.
And we have it here. You want?
Yeah, I've got it. Here, I've got the whole thing here. Let me show you guys. So, and it starts at $95, and that is honestly super affordable. If you guys have ever rented or bought suits, that shit gets pricey as hell. Up to $1,200. That's what they wrote. I can't confirm or deny that. They haven't been that expensive in my experience,
Ethan
to be
will
honest.
wear sandals even to a wedding.
Yeah.
So.
But regardless, $95 is a pretty slamming deal for a tuxedo. So this jacket feels really quality. How do I look?
Nice.
Theblacktux.com/H3. Check me out. Okay? They send you the jacket, the shirt, the pants, the shoes. My God. I'm ready for bar mitzvah today. I want to get bar mitzvah again. You got the bow tie, the socks.
Even socks.
I mean, come on. $95, right? You get it, you choose your style, you fit it, you work with their customer service. What is in this one? I don't know what's in this.
Let me see the. Oh,
This
it's
is an empty box. This isn't important to this spot. Okay?
Let me see the bow tie.
You want to put the bow tie on me? Where's the shit? It's like, there's so much stuff in here. I can't find the bow tie. You see me where's the bow tie? Yeah, help me find the bow tie. Anyway, it's honestly a great thing here. It's a really useful, convenient service.
I saw it.
If you go to theblacktux.com/H3, you get $20 off your purchase today. So if you have that special day coming up, bar mitzvah, I don't know why I keep going back to bar mitzvah. That makes sense to me. In my imagination, everyone's headed to a bar mitzvah.
I don't know where did it go.
Okay, it looks like their site has not crashed yet, so top of the morning to you.
Oh yeah, my fucking coffee, man.
So anyway, where's the bow tie?
I don't know
Where the hell's the bow tie? I just had it.
Oh, there.
Oh, it's under my. Okay. And guys, best of all, the most compelling thing of this offer, the thing that makes this all pop, the bow tie.
Coffee's pretty hot.
Good. How do I look? Ready for a bar mitzvah?
Yeah.
Is it my bar mitzvah or am I the entertainer? Or, I don't know. Anyway, you get the idea. It tightens. That's the list.
Okay.
So guys, thank you to our sponsor. Plus, with free home try-on, you can see the fit. Yeah, I said that. Anyway, it's a really cool service. There's a ton of different styles. It's sleek. It's modern. You guys know what's up. Thanks for sponsoring us, guys. If you have an event coming up, it means a lot if you go try out their service. You might love it. You probably will.
Nice.
And you'll support us as well. Got him.
Got him.
Okay, did I do that? Okay, cool.
Everyone was saying that you look buff.
I look jacked? Go to theblacktux.com/H3 and you'll look jacked like me. Cool. All right, thanks, guys, for hanging out. Do you want to do solo time, or I'm going to take a break to go to the bathroom and get some coffee?
Yeah, I'll do a little solo.
You want some solo time? So
Yeah.
here we're bringing you back some solo time with your boy.
Are you guys feeling the solo shit?
Oh, God, are you kidding? I think that's all they want.
They love that shit?
You guys, we get a wayo in the chat just so we can visually see the solo appreciation? Here it comes.
Solo.
There it goes. Oh, they want ghost stories. We'll get into the ghost stories when we get back. We got whales. We got yeses. They don't care
Steve-O's
about
a
us.
Trooper.
Yeah, they don't care about us.
How
I'm gonna
many,
go
do
pee.
we have a higher number
Yeah, it's a
than
good.
usual?
It's a good turnout.
How are we doing right now?
Great.
Are we over 15K?
We've held 15K pretty strong, which is really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
The real
this
test-
is eking into the territory of the longer podcasts.
How long have we been going? Usually it's 2 to 3 hours.
Okay.
I have no idea how long.
It's
And
already
does
been
analytics tell you?
2.5 hours.
2.5. This is definitely eking. Yeah.
Okay, so analytics tells you that if your retention rate.
So on YouTube we have that info,
Uh-huh.
but the real test is on YouTube, which I think this.
And the
this is gonna do
average
great.
viewing time will appeal.
You're so technical.
Yeah, what's going on here? What are you marketing my shit? What is
I'm just curious. It's not about marketing your shit. It's about me wanting to believe that I'm holding a stronger retention rate than the average podcast. That I am at the higher level.
I'll let you know. I'm gonna crunch the numbers. And if it's bad, I'll lie to you. Is that good? It's gonna be great, dude. Come on.
You know that this? I'm sure a million people have pointed out that this is exactly like Howard Stern.
I
is
totally ripped it off.
Yeah.
Designed.
Well, when we had our set designer here, I said, well, Howard was like my inspiration for this show, not really podcasts. My
Right.
dream was to have more acts and more stuff going on, which I think we can build up to. But I says, rip off Howard's set as much as possible because I think he's
I
got
like
the
it.
best set.
Yeah.
So the font is the same.
I'm a huge fucking Howard fan.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. My dad is like obsessed.
Do you
He
listen to
every
it on
morning.
the app, the Sirius app?
No.
Ooh, you're blowing it.
Where else can you listen to it though? Thing is,
See, if you listen to it streaming, then whenever you stop the car, right? You listen when you're driving mostly, right? So when you stop the car, then it continues to play. So when you get out of the car, you miss a chunk.
yeah.
You miss a chunk. And then when you get back in the car, odds are you're going to rehear a chunk. So there's going to be certain parts that you don't hear at all
Yeah.
and other parts that you hear twice.
That's good.
You rehear. Now, when you listen to the app and you put it and run it with your Bluetooth,
that's very cool.
then when you stop the car, it pauses where you are. So then when you get back in the car, it picks up immediately where you left off.
That's
So
a wonderful thing.
You miss nothing whatsoever, and you never hear anything twice. And furthermore, then after Wednesday, like you're still stocked up, so you don't run out of Howard.
Don't run out of Howard.
Right.
I can't believe you were on. How many times?
I was on Howard like in my life, like I think 16 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Howard is like a legend.
It used to be a different deal. He used to be on like every day. He wouldn't have these vacations all the time, and it was.
Well,
it
he's
was every
frankly
weekday.
he's how old is he these days?
He's
he looks good.
63.
Oh, seriously? Oh, he's not that old.
63.
He's
yeah.
a young man still. But he's a legend on like the
Well, the thing
highest
is,
order.
like, I can tell you, like my personal belief is that. God, I can't get on. You know, like he only does 3 days a week. You know, if I reach out to Gary, which I do very sparingly, and really try to not waste anybody's time over there, and I'd say, oh, I got something to promote, or can I get on? Like, you know, the best I'm going to do is get on the wrap-up show, which I always do, and I'm hugely grateful to do. I just love to be a part of it. I'm such a fan. My theory, not only does Howard, now he does a lot less shows. He's only 3 days a week. But since he went on America's Got Talent, this is only a theory, but people, it's big, huge A-list celebrities used to be terrified to go on Howard
right.
because
He's such a monster interviewer.
because you'd have to ask questions about money or you'd
Sex.
answer sex, relationships, all it's
Yeah.
just too scary. So it was like a lot of people were afraid to go on there, and that's why I was so. I'd go on there and talk about whatever.
Right.
You know,
right.
and I'd like. But then I think that him going on, like all the therapy that he does and all this, you know, he's become a more, I don't know, like less scary to celebrities. I think going on AGT had something to do with that. America's Got Talent when he was a judge.
Softened him
Didn't
up.
soften him up.
It's more mainstream shit.
It made him more less scary, you know. It made him more family
So
friendly.
you think he's got like more? He's
It's just
appealing to
now-
higher list, like
now it's just straight up A-list
Top.
A-list bonanza.
Yeah.
And it's great.
I think it's a
you know?
combination of less shows and more interest.
There's less shows, so it's harder to get on, and there's more competition because now everybody wants to go on there.
Dude, Howard is fucking crazy. What he's achieved and how like that
Yeah.
guy is a entertainment god. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a
I'm
real
huge-
legend.
I'm a huge fan, and props to you for paying homage.
Yeah, yeah,
the
most
king.
definitely. I readily admit and own up that we just completely ripped off his studio. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to try to reinvent a studio design. I'm just going to fucking rip off Howard.
Right.
It's like a science what they've achieved there. Well, it's pretty much just the font and like the purple
I'm
theme.
behind in the game.
Yeah.
I'm just getting ready to listen to Bill Burr.
Bill Burr's podcast is.
No, I'm talking about Bill Burr. He's a guest on Howard, like a week or two ago.
Okay.
That's a great combo.
So yeah, I'm way behind. What was it that I just?
I don't
did?
listen regularly. My dad was a huge fan of Howard, so I've listened to it through him, but I don't.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I'm pretty religious about it. It's crazy because I used to be on all the time and I never listened, and then I became like a real super fan, and
Now
like,
they want to fucking put your ass on. That's hilarious.
no, I can't get on.
All right, I'm gonna go pee. You want to do some solo
I'll do
time?
some solo
You got the chat
time,
there?
yeah.
Okay.
Give me a topic to delve into.
Talk about. Oh fuck! I hate this because I'm gonna miss the best part, but I'm gonna use it anyway. Talk about the. I want to
Death?
know. Oh shit!
Death.
Yeah, talk about what are your. I want to know like craziest things you've ever done on or off camera. Is that a good lead-in?
Buying weed in Jakarta.
Go.
Like they kill you. Like possession of marijuana is punishable.
Of all the shit you've done, it's the craziest.
Well, it's punishable by
Depends
death.
where.
I can tell you the closest I've come to death, which is totally anticlimactic, man. Scuba diving. They told me the sharks were at the bottom, and so I just went hauling ass for the bottom.
Never going scuba diving.
Wow, dude, scuba diving's fucking scary, man.
Okay, we'll be back.
All right, so
time with Steven.
solo time. I'll take some suggestions here. My best drug story. Oh my God. Okay, I'll tell you. Oh my God, this is fucked up. Get ready for a fucked up story. I used to do this in my live shows, but I determined that it just wasn't fucking funny. I'm gonna shut this door. Now, I was so helplessly addicted to cocaine, it was insane. Like, if I ran out, I would call this drug dealer, and if I was waiting for a call from him, I'd be like using my cell phone as a pillow so that when it vibrated, like it would wake me up and be like, oh yeah, I need drugs. Now, if I called up the drug dealer and if he didn't answer, I would just fucking show up at his place. I would just go there and be like, When I got to his place, I would try the door. Sometimes it was open and I would just walk in, and sometimes it wasn't open, and that was upsetting. This guy, this drug dealer, wasn't just a drug dealer. He was also like a hardcore addict. And when it came, and I'm talking about cocaine, this guy would inject cocaine. He would shoot up. And for some reason, because I never injected anything, some reason that I just don't understand about people who shoot up cocaine is that with their syringe, they squirt their own blood all over the place. I mean, this guy's apartment, it was all like just on the walls, even the fucking ceiling, the furniture. This motherfucker had with his syringe, just squirt all over the place, blood. So, and sometimes when I showed up and I would walk in, I'd find the guy like sitting there with literally needles fucking hanging out. I felt like it was hanging out of his neck one time, and he was sitting there, and I walked in, and he was like, oh, hey, what's up, dude? And he pulls the needle out of his neck, like, oh, hey, what's up, bro? You know, like, fuck, it was gnarly. And, you know, whatever, I wouldn't judge him. I'd be like, oh yeah, hey man, like, give me some coke, and I would buy like a bunch, you know, like, God, fucking always buy like quite a lot. And so this one fucking time, I showed up. His door wasn't locked, and it was open. I walked in. He wasn't in the living room. He was in his back bedroom. It was like a guest house kind of a deal, and it wasn't like an apartment, but it was. It was like a guest house. He went like through the back of someone's driveway, and then he was in the back. And I walked in, so he's in his bedroom in the back, and like the dude's like, he wasn't dead, obviously, but he was just not responsive. You know, he had, I guess, been awake for so many days that there was no fucking waking this guy up. And he's like, I'm like trying to wake him up. Yeah, I need fucking drugs, you know, like, and there's no getting this guy up. So So fuck, man. Like, I just finally was like, okay, fuck. You know, he's just sleeping so heavily. I'm just not gonna get him up. So I went myself into his living room, to the table where he would weigh out all of his drugs, and there was, from him weighing this guy sold so much fucking drugs that on the table itself there was just like a fucking residue of cocaine. It was just built up, and I was looking at it like I knew that if I took a card that I could just I could scrape up like the gnarliest pile of cocaine. I just knew it. I'm just like, I'm just gonna go. I want drugs, and I'm gonna go fucking help myself. I'm gonna go scrape. So now I go and I sit down at the table and I'm looking at it. There's cocaine all over it, but like I said, the motherfucker squirted his own blood everywhere. So it's like cocaine with blood. Like little like splatters, like thin, like, you know. And I'm like, fuck, this is a terrible idea. Like this is fucking bad. And I'm like, and I just start scraping up fucking cocaine. And like I can like visibly, like in the pile I'm scraping, like I can see specks of blood. And this is how fucking bad I was addicted. I sat there and fucking snorted the motherfucker's blood, dude.
What the fuck did I just walk in on?
Yeah. They asked me for my craziest drug story.
That was on my. I wanted to ask you that. Well, I guess I'll have to watch the video back.
I just dropped the hammer,
I walked in,
dude.
and Steve-O literally said, and I snorted his blood.
I snorted the motherfucker's blood, dude.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. I wrote about that story in my book, you know? And I guess like I should say this. I go on podcasts all the time. I never fucking really promote shit. Like you're right that I've had a fucking crazy life. And I have not only a book, it's a New York Times bestseller, and on top of this is unheard of for a bestseller. The average customer rating on Amazon for my book is a full 5 out of 5 stars. There's no partial stars. This is It's a fucking bona fide, full-on 5-star New York Times bestseller. It's called Professional Idiot.
Professional Idiot, available on Amazon.
No, but fuck Amazon because
don't go to Amazon.
On my website, I autographed every copy. I autographed every single copy, and like, and
I'll give you 5 stars.
Yeah, and I a lot of people, they charge a lot for merch online. Like, I got signature Steve-O sunglasses for $18. You know,
that's actually pretty amazing.
That's
so
really
I got T-shirts $20. You know,
that's actually that is amazing.
I have autographed books like $25. For fucking fully autographed.
So what is your
autographed? It's Steve-O.com.
So if you guys want some Steve-O swag,
yeah, dude, fire it up, man. Get over there and fire that shit up.
Swag.
And yeah, so now, like I talked about, there's one element to this drug dealer story that I've never shared because it's fucked up. It's fucked up.
Let's hear it. Now I'm intrigued as hell.
And the guy remains anonymous. I've never not that anybody would know him anyway. He's a fucking drug dealer from a long time ago. But we both got sober, right? Like I got sober first, and then he started showing up like in places where sober people go. At one point, the guy, I saw him at a place where sober people go. I can't believe I'm about to fucking say this. The fucking guy. He says, "Hey man, can I talk to you?" And he like pulls me aside with a fucking private conversation, and he's like, "Hey dude, I know that at one point you snorted my blood."
I really missed the beginning part of the story, but I'll go with you. I'm gonna follow you.
And he's like this was years after the fact, so who knows when? But he was like so fucking I have to tell you, fucking he came up HIV positive, dude.
He wasn't fucking with you.
No, dude.
What the fuck? How did you feel at that?
Well, I didn't give a fuck because I had at that point already been clean and sober for years and like routinely fucking tested.
You knew you were clean.
I had been tested for HIV so many times over and over.
Right.
And that's the thing about it is that.
God, what?
Is that fucked up, dude?
Wait, hold on. That's an important detail. You didn't just snort blood. You have to include I snorted
the blood
HIV
of
blood.
Well, at the time, the reason why the blood was there was because the guy's an intravenous drug user, and there's something about.
Why the fuck you snort his blood? Wait, I need to know that. I'll go back and watch it.
I'm not telling you. You're gonna have to watch your own podcast.
I'm gonna have to watch my own fucking video back.
Podcast.
Oh my god. You guys get the best. I'm gonna leave. Apparently, the best, most interesting shit goes down when I'm not in the room.
Right. Oh my God, that's funny. But the thing about the thing about HIV and AIDS, right, is that the infected blood, when it comes into contact with open air, it really does not live very long at all. That's why it's difficult to get AIDS from a tattoo needle, because a tattoo needle is a solid needle, right? The tattoo needle is a solid needle, so anything on it is on the outside of it, and it's exposed to the air. Right. However, it's a very fucking effective way to get it by using drug needles. Because those needles are hollow. It's like a little straw. You poke it in, and then so within, air cannot get all the way through. It's not exposed to the open air.
Got it.
In the middle of that hypodermic syringe needle, which is essentially a straw, the blood that lives inside that needle,
so
air doesn't get to it.
AIDS,
so if you share needles,
that's the way to do it.
Oh my God,
or anal sex.
This is clearly how the guy got it, because within that fucking the middle of that hollow syringe needle, when the blood's in there, it can live for days, I don't know, maybe even weeks. And so when you take someone else's fucking drug needle and you do it, that fucking AIDS is alive and well.
So
in
if
the
you
middle
find
of
a
that
syringe, let it sit for a week before you use it.
Right. Well, or run bleach through it. You know, that's what they do.
Really?
Yeah, they'll take bleach and they'll fucking, you know.
Good tips, kids at home.
Dude, and then there's these news stories where fucking creepy motherfuckers are like on the gas pump. You can see, someone showed me, like, what the fuck is this? It's on the gas pump, and they're like taping their used fucking AIDS, HIV drug needle to the fucking thing, so that when someone goes to grab the pump,
who would do that? Why would anyone
they're doing
do
it?
that?
There are people out there doing it.
Why the fuck would anyone do that?
They're doing it, and so when you fucking grab the gas pump, you get fucking pricked
that
with
is
the HIV
so
needle.
Fucking
Dude, I'm telling you,
sick.
Google it, dude. Google it. Fucking
Can you imagine
AIDS,
in a world where that's how you get AIDS?
AIDS fucking gas pump.
And then it's like Eddie Murphy has this great bit where like, this is like when people
it blows up.
It was the same stand-up, but this was like back when people hated. It was like cool to hate gay people, and nobody knew how AIDS works. And he's like, your wife go home with one of her gay friends, give him a kiss, and then she come home, give you a kiss, and you have AIDS. And then you have to tell people you have AIDS, and like, oh, do you fuck dudes? I don't know. That was a really butchering. By the way, he also has a bit in that show where he's like, I hate when white dudes go and try to retell my jokes every night.
Oh yeah.
So I got that.
How about that?
Got that all covered. Hit that one right. Fucking slam dunk. All right, let's move on. There's one part of this show that inexplicably always comes up. Me and you are very skeptical people.
Right.
But somehow this is a fascinating thing, and everyone's into it, and everyone loves it. We always ask our guests about ghost stories.
Well, speaking of which, the whole fucking Lance, whatever his name is, the guy.
Sir Lancelot, as you said.
And then I trust you fully, like not implicitly, explicitly, right? Is that an accurate? I trust you explicitly. I trust you explicitly, thoroughly.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Thanks, dude.
And your journalism on this guy's
fucking Lance
getting
Stewart.
pulled out of bed.
Yeah, it was fake.
With his jack off.
Well,
was the jack off cream? I mean, it couldn't have been there for like artistic purposes.
It was definitely jack off cream.
No, wait, are you asking if it's really fake? It's fake.
Well, of course.
Well, of course, but then I had this moment.
But so you know how to do it with the green screen.
Yeah.
And the jack off.
It was cut in half.
It's not like the guy was like, oh, it'd be so fucking funny if I made it like I put a jack off cream there, because if that was the case, he would have noticed that it was cut in half.
No, he was literally has jack off cream next to his bed.
And power to him.
Yeah, God bless him. It's just funny.
Jacking off is doper with cream.
Yeah, dude. Don't go and try it ever.
Right. So, the thing is, like, now this guy. What I wanted to know, because he got him so bad on the pulled out of bed, and he's pretending it's fucking real. It's only good. It's fucking the ghosts and spooks. Like, did you get any backlash from? Did you ever just be like, dude, you hurt my feelings? Can you take the video down? And if not him, has anybody else been like?
That stuff used to happen a long time ago. I think people stopped. They understand now that there's no.
But we are being sued.
Right.
So
but
that's the ultimate.
People understand now that our videos are not going to.
In fact.
And
it's only a good thing.
I didn't want to bring up the lawsuit or some questions that I'm really pretty interested in, because
you can ask me.
If
I can't talk about it, I won't say, but you can ask me anything.
Well, I just think that, like, and I guess I come from a different realm, you know? Like, I was talking about, you know, like, MTV, like, sort of TV shows, and we made, like, movies, and it was a tough pill to swallow for me to even learn how to edit to make YouTube videos to upload to YouTube. I was just like,
Dude,
fuck.
that's a huge undertaking. If you edit all those by yourself, that's...
Yeah, I totally do, and I love it. I took my life into my own hands. Before 2013, I did not know how to edit a piece of video.
Right.
I would need someone to help. And I couldn't do anything by myself, and then you know, fuck, it was such a gnarly time, man. Knoxville was making the fucking the Bad Grandpa, and I was like, fuck, they're making a Jackass movie without the Jackass guys, you know. Now
What they are?
What is the Bad Grandpa?
Oh.
None of us were in it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, now we're the Jackson 4.
Got it.
You know, now I'm the Jackson 4.
Right.
Like Knoxville Timberlake does, which, by the way, is not at all like what happened. You know, and power to him, he fucking did that. You know, like like Knoxville's the captain, he always will be. And this was just my perception, my fucking dark, fucking shitty. Fucking, is it nihilistic, the word?
Nihilistic means you don't care about anything.
Oh, okay, right. Then that's not the
Pessimistic, probably.
word. Pessimistic, my doomsday, fucking dark.
Yeah.
Like,
I wish I was a nihilist. I'd kill to be a nihilist.
Fuck, man.
I'd kill to not care about killing to be a nihilist.
Thanks for helping my already impressive vocabulary.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. But like,
But yes, so it was like,
I had this moment,
There's
and when I
different
was
stuff going on. And I was just like, I'm over. I'm done with. I'm the Jackson 4. And then I just swallowed this fucking pill, and I'm like, I'm gonna become a YouTuber, man. You know.
But it's work. But you were telling me it was like a second, second life.
It's completely revived.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, so much, everything good has come about as a result, and I'm not lazy, you know. So like, I fucking, you know, this social media, like, and everybody, if you're not following me on social media, for God's sakes, get on there.
Please.
Like,
Smash every time.
I won't waste your time. If anything, I post considerably less to be careful as
That's
to
my
not,
philosophy as well.
To be careful as to, so if you see me, I'm not going to clog up your feed.
Follow this man.
Yeah.
It's paramount. But I wanted to tell you, during this moment when we were dissecting Lance's video, when he got pulled out of the bed, and I had this moment when I was like way too self-aware, and I was like, Hila, this is fucking dumb. Like, this is obviously so fake. Why am I...
And it's so exactly...
Why am I debunking this? Like, this feels so stupid. Like,
well, no,
but it ended up...
Because there he's deceiving his audience.
But I'm like, okay...
Even after our video, his next video was still, this is real.
He's still writing.
And people are like doubting me, but it's real.
Well, it's all 12
Oh, and with specifically referencing that one thing.
Yeah,
so it's just another Joey Salads phenomenon.
Well, at least he's not blaming black people. It's a victimless crime. It's ghosts.
Well, yeah, he is throwing ghosts under the bus.
But also, kids are getting spooked straight.
But now the reason I was talking about went into this whole thing.
Stories? That's the question.
Yeah.
Any ghost stories?
Yes, and holy shit, do I ever?
Let's hear it. Let's go.
All right, I was gonna, and thanks to this got me off a thing I didn't want to go to anyway.
Oh shit! Now I'm intrigued.
Dude, well, here's the thing, okay?
This is like the most tangented conversation.
Like I have the most fucked up ghost stories ever.
Well, we gotta go there.
Do it.
Okay.
Yeah, we gotta go there.
When I was doing drugs, okay?
Yeah.
Like I did drugs to the point where I was hearing voices, okay? Like it's called, the technical term for this would be psychosis. Where
just a total mental
and what's so peculiar about the phenomenon of psychosis, which is characterized by auditory hallucinations where you're hearing voices, visual hallucinations. I was watching people walk around my apartment, people who were never there. I was watching them walk through walls. They staged like an intervention on me at one point. I had fucking an apartment full of people who were there to have a formal intervention, but they were never fucking there.
Were you aware that they weren't there?
Oh, dude, I watched them motherfuckers.
Did you think it was real, or were you aware
I knew
that
it was
you
real.
hallucinated?
I knew it was real, and to this fucking day it was real. To this fucking day it was real.
But in retrospect, you're like, that was obviously a hallucination.
Totally fucking spiritual entities that are
okay.
Right now.
So wait, you don't think it was a hallucination? You think there were real spiritual entities?
the fucking line is completely blurred.
Okay,
The
understood.
line is completely fucking blurred, and I think that the reason why I'm seeing them as hallucinations is because they're real.
Do you think that the drugs like open your mind?
I
in
think
some
that I
way?
think the drugs. That's why I'm like with psychosis, like meth, whether meth will do it. Cocaine, particularly on the third straight day of a cocaine bender with no sleep, like while inhaling like nitrous oxide to the exclusion of air as much as possible.
Right.
When shit would really pop off.
Interesting.
You know, shit would pop off.
Did you invite it?
At one point, okay, the first time I had like a spiritual like intervention where it was like, okay, I was sitting and I was inhaling nitrous oxide and I was doing cocaine and I had been doing so for 2 to 3 days. I was in a chair that spun just like this one, and I was sitting in front of a big pile of cocaine, and I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking to myself, as I go to snort another ridiculous helping of cocaine, I thought to myself, wow, I'm killing myself. You know, like there is no longevity in what I'm doing. I'm dying. I'm dying here. Like, this is me killing myself, and I'm dying. And I thought very specifically, because I'll never forget this, I thought, I don't care if I die. And I just leaned over to go fucking right now. As I thought, I don't care if I die. Like as a reaction to those specific words that I thought, to that thought, like physically, the spinning chair I was in as I went to it fucking spun. It was like there was a big, strong dude who fucking spun the fucking chair. It was like with the power of, as if it was like a fucking mechanical bull. It was just like it fucking spun, and like, and it was. Now, granted, this was a tactile hallucination, meaning not like here, but you feel it. I know fully well that if there was a surveillance camera in my apartment at that time, it would not reveal this experience that I had.
Right.
Like, I'm clear on that, but it fucking happened.
What do
There's
you
no
mean
question.
it wouldn't reveal? Like, you never spun at all? You think it would show?
My experience was that I did, but if
You
someone
think
else
the
was
camera would
there,
show
if the
that
camera
it was just still.
It like got right. Like it didn't. Like I know well.
Interesting.
I know well enough to know that like this is an experience that I had that was outside of the dimension that we're in, right? And like it was so clear when this happened that like I thought, I don't care if I die, and then just, whoa, you know, it was like, think again, motherfucker, like think again.
So
like this was completely in response to that, I don't care if I die. It was like, think again, like the message was clear that there is some entity that distinctly cares that I not die.
What was
like
your
think
reaction?
again. I was like, fuck, you know, like something powerful as fuck just spun this thing.
Did
because,
you take the line?
Well, yeah, of course. Of course, but something powerful as fuck wants me to live. Wants me to see the importance of don't not care. Like I should care. Something wants me to care about living. Like I gotta live for something. Dude, I had, and I think it might have been later that night. Well, no, it was another night when I had the formal interview. Dude, I had a shoe sponsor, and there was these cubby holes, a whole wall of shoes, and like the mess, the in my apartment, shit was just going off, and all these shoes were sitting there like tapping their toes, like, okay, throw away the drugs. They're all impatiently tapping their toes, like, okay, throw away the drugs.
my
you know?
God.
Like, and I'm just watching it happen. And all this shit, it's like, okay, wait, hold on, is that happening? And I would think, that's really crazy that that's fucking happening. And I'd look again and like, yep, sure enough, it's still happening. Like, totally. Like inanimate objects were communicating to me. And now they're...
And again, you feel like in that situation with the security camera, the shoes aren't moving.
Correct.
Yeah.
100% correct. And so like it's spiritual entities, ghosts, like whatever, like my spirit friends, there were different classifications of them. There were angels, clearly angels that cared about me living, and they would even say in my ears, like, hey, we're worried about you, you know, like, like you're killing yourself and it's not okay. And they were very loving and angels, and they were like rooting for me. That's like really what I prayed to this day. Like, you know, like when you go to rehab and they say you have to have a higher power, like, you know, like whatever spun that fucking chair is just, I pray to that, you know, something that cares about me. So there were the angels. Then there were demons. For sure there were demons. Like the voices were telling me like fucking suffocate yourself to death. They were urging me to kill myself. And it was like super dark and gnarly and super scary. Then, and I would probably classify this as demons as well, but much more fun. Like trickster spirits, like shit. They would just fucking entertain me. That same chair that I was in, right? Like the spinning office chair, which was I had a big dining room table like this with the computer set up with the TV on the wall, and that fucking chair while I was in it just caught fucking fire, just engulfed in flames, and the flames didn't hurt. It was just they're showing off like cool shit for me, like and I was just like whoa, the chair, and I'm checking it out, like sure enough, it's on fire. The whole fucking chair is just on fucking fire, and I'm like whoa, fucking cool. I just wanted to do more drugs and pile more. That's why I classified these as demon spirits, because they just tricksters,
enabling you.
They wanted me to. I loved it. So all this fucking shit was so cool. There was so much of it, like lights that were never even there ever were just flashing. It was a fucking light show, just like bomb, 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 bomb. The curtains are opening and closing on their own. The whole place is going fucking nuts, and I'm like, whoa, this is the fucking coolest party ever. Like, and I just want to do more drugs to keep the shit happening. I had this.
That's insane. That didn't scare you? Like
I loved it. I loved it so much. At certain times, it got scary. There was a lot of fucking dark, creepy, scary shit that went down too. Like,
were you by yourself usually when the shit was going down?
Always.
Just you,
always.
party.
There were a couple times, but the other person, if they were there, they wouldn't be privy to it. They would be like, you know, there are like rules for the spirits. But I had this.
What are the rules?
They're not supposed to interfere with.
They can't physically affect.
They can't like manipulate they can't interfere with free will. They can't like manipulate things to alter the course, you know. So really they've got
like those rules you learned from interacting with them.
Yeah, and they weren't supposed to like say anything. They're like and it's like the committee, and you can hear them kind of, you know, but like. And they're in another thing, but if you do enough drugs, that's why the same thing happens if you're on meth as if you're on coke, or even like sometimes the alcohol. Like all roads lead to the same place. If you do enough drugs, if you fuck yourself up enough, even PCP, like you erode the barriers between us and these entities, you know, and then you start experiencing. That's why I still believe it's real, dude. And dude, I had like some of the other trickster shit was fucking badass, man. Like I had this globe, like the Earth, and the base of it I drilled to a skateboard, and then the skateboard I drilled to the wall, so the globe is coming out, protruding like this. I sat there and looked at that fucking globe, and I watched my own face, like the liquid Terminator in the globe, like came pushing out.
God.
It came pushing out like the fucking globe is, and my face came pushing out, and then started headbanging. The globe's going like, boom.
And you weren't scared. You were like,
I was like, whoa, like, whoa, yeah, yes,
God, can
yes.
you imagine watching
Dude,
back
I got
tapes?
goosebumps. I got the gnarliest goosebumps.
Can you imagine
Like,
watching
so
a tape
dope.
back of you? Like,
Oh yeah, and I would make my own
Can you
videos.
imagine that?
Dude, like I would make
You
my
would
own.
film
video-
it.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, like
Do those exist
You
still?
would, oh yeah, dude. There was a whole documentary that was made about my downward spiral and psychosis, and ultimately to my
that
intervention.
footage of you like interacting.
Yeah,
with
and
the
dude,
spirits.
what the footage reveals is me reacting to a lot of this stuff that like it's not
There's
there.
nothing there,
There's
yeah.
not there, but you can tell. I'm like, whoa,
Totally
whoa, you know, and I'm like,
Wow.
yeah. So I mean, there's a million
That's
fucking things,
that
dude.
So
is
what is it?
crazy.
Okay, so in this world where these spirits are real, like what is their motivation? What are they doing like on the other side? And why is it so compelling to them to come interact with people on drugs?
I think that it's the people who are on drugs that they have
They're
access
receptive. So what's
to. They have
enticing
access to
them?
like the.
They get like a signal. They're like, I can talk to this person.
Well, yeah, they don't have access to. Like the.
And not everybody.
Right, I think, like, and I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just out of my mind. But,
No, and I mean, it's
but
your
the-
personal experience.
Right.
that's fascinating,
My experience, my belief, is that the barriers are you know, like for you. You aren't aware of them because you've got these barriers in place, which you
Yeah.
have not eroded
Right.
to the point where you can become aware of them. So I would say that.
And they're aware when your barrier is down.
For sure.
Got it.
And what's their motivation? I think with the trickster stuff, that just made me so hungry to keep that shit happening. I just want like this all like just even the voices, everything, like the people walking around. I watched a fucking dude come out. Like I lost my mom in 2003, and you know, it was like really kind of a traumatic thing for me. Not that I lost my mom, but the last 5 years of her life where she survived an aneurysm and she was very fucking damaged. Like she was physically and mentally horribly disabled and had bed sores, and it was just fucking terrible. Like she was in great pain, and her last 5 years were traumatic. And that fucked me up a lot. At one point when I was in this apartment, like in my fucking psychosis, I watched a dude come out of the bathroom. He walked right behind me. He stopped, and as my interpretation, he went like that, right? Which I interpreted to be like he stopped and fucking paid respect to my mom, and then turned. He kept walking through the apartment. I watched this fucking dude pick up the bong, take a hit, blow out smoke, put it back, and then fucking walk through the wall. The motherfucker was never there, dude.
Crazy.
He was never there. And you'll hear people who have psychosis, they talk about shadow people. Like, I'm not talking, there was a lot of shadow people too, but I'm talking about there were like fully formed, totally people picking up actual objects, moving shit around.
If the spirit world is real, in the sense that you've experienced it, that's just so bizarre. Like, what are they up to?
Oh, dude, I mean,
what are they up to?
No
what is their
there's no
motivation?
question of if. I mean, fuck, dude. Like, what, like, this third dimensional experience is so, like, minor, dude. And so, like, I read a book, and there's this theory. Do you know about junk DNA? Do you know that for the purpose of science, that we can only, our best scientific knowledge of our own DNA indicates that we only use 10% of our brain, and that we can only identify that there is any purpose whatsoever to 10% of our DNA, leaving the scientific position of the scientific community has the position that 90% of our DNA, they call it, quote, junk DNA. They do not know what it's for.
It's probably like hereditary, you know, from all the...
I guess, but I more easily
Because it's been like billions of years of evolution, you know?
Right, but it's just interesting that, like, to suggest that here we're this complex, you know, thing, and that 90% of what makes us up has no purpose whatsoever, and that is just totally junk. And for that matter, that 90% of our brain power has no purpose whatsoever. That we just have it laying around. We're never going to use it. Now, the theory that I read, which I have a pretty easy time with, and it's kind of it's a fucked up theory, but that there are more dimensions, and that we are intended to be multidimensional beings, and that for us to use 100% of our brain, or for 100% of our DNA to be active, that means that we are simultaneously connected to the versions of ourselves which are in other dimensions, right? But the theory that I read in this crazy book, and this might be a little far out there, but I have an easier time believing this than I would believing that we're junk, the junk DNA, is the theory that the Earth is sort of a library, so to speak, of a lot of, you know, like information and such, and it's very valuable in the universe and all dimensions,
right.
You know, and that the theory is that some 300,000 years ago, ownership of the Earth switched, right, and so the new owners of Earth found that as multidimensional beings, which we used to be, according to this
Sounds
theory.
like some Scientology shit, kind of.
No, it's really not. It's I mean, whatever. But the idea was that we used to be fully multidimensional, but we were too difficult to control.
Interesting.
So this new, like, ownership, whatever, they basically went under the hood and unplugged 90% of our DNA, which leaves us, without us being plugged in, we don't know what the fucking meaning of life is. We have no idea what our purpose is. You gotta admit, like, there's kind of like we're like a little bit don't know why we're here, what's going on.
Way more than meets the eye or we can perceive. That's
right. We're not plugged in anymore, so we don't get it. The connection to I guess the evidence for me is that we only use 10% of our brain, and
So
we
I
only
think- but I
like
think
not
that's
only
a myth,
10%
by the way.
of 10%. Nah.
You think that's why?
I think that that was a myth that was floating around. I think
that there have
we
been
use 100%
developments.
of our brain. but just at different times. I think that's
Ooh,
the
I
myth.
don't know.
You want to do a fact check?
Let's do a fact check on junk DNA.
Do we use?
I'm almost more interested in the DNA.
I haven't heard the junk DNA. That is fascinating.
Yeah, junk DNA. 90% of our
So,
DNA, they have no fucking idea what it's for.
Humans use 100% of their brains, despite popular myth. College students believe we only use 10%. Well, this is just some dumbass website, but here.
All right.
This is Scientific
I'm
America.
way more concerned with junk DNA.
But just for the record, because this was a really prolific
Right.
myth that went around.
Yeah, everyone,
I believed it for a long time, and then someone told me that, and I
I think there have been
it.
some kind of developments in the scientific community regarding junk DNA that are newer, but still, we don't fucking know,
So
dude.
I'm talking about brain use. Now let's look into the junk DNA.
Yeah, DNA,
Junk
dude.
DNA.
Right. And,
Non-coding DNA is what it's called on Wikipedia.
right, and this whole fucking, like, this is a fucking controversial thing for a clean and sober guy to say because, like, the higher power is such a big part of the recovery process, you know, faith in God.
Right.
But dude, I think it's fucking full-scale arrogance to say that you're atheist and that you're 100% sure there is no God. And I think it's also fucking arrogant to say that you're 100% sure that there is. I think that we have limitations.
Yeah.
We have a fucking limited fucking ability in our physical form.
Completely agree.
And you know, like, yeah, I think that you're arrogant if you're anything but agnostic.
So I think
And faith, the definition of faith is to believe in something that cannot be proven.
I am agnostic, but I think people misunderstand atheism. Well, there's
Atheism means I'm sure that there is no God.
No, it's not.
think
It's not
so.
quite that. That's the misunderstanding of it. These are like fedora wearing, like 15-year-olds. I'm very deep atheist. I think atheism in the true sense is that
There is no God.
I don't believe in God because I've never been given any reason or evidence to believe in God. I don't.
Well, that's definition of agnostic, and I always used to say
That's- so I think-
hey, I have
yeah.
no trouble believing there. I would say assuming there is a God.
agnostic. Agnostic
Agnostic means
is
I don't
I'm
know.
open to the idea of God, but I don't know.
I don't know.
I
Right.
don't know.
Right.
And that's where I fall. But an atheism is I don't believe in God
Right.
because I have no reason to believe in God.
All right, I thought atheism
not
was
like-
atheism is a
it's-
conviction that there is no God.
See, it's like I think that the some media has
So you're saying
misrepresented atheism.
You're
to
saying
demonize
atheist
it.
means that assuming there is a God, I'm pretty sure he wants his privacy.
Yeah, that's deism actually.
Oh, yeah, what's that?
The founding fathers were deistic, and that was something that
Deistic. My
fascinated
favorite
me.
death metal band is
So,
Deicide.
so deism is fucking awesome, and all the founding fathers were into this shit. They're like, there is a God. He came, he created the universe, he
He's
created
dead.
the earth, and then he fucked off. He doesn't
how
care
about
about
that?
us. He doesn't interact in our lives at all. He came, he saw, he conquered, and he fucked off.
Okay.
It's kind of fascinating.
Well, here's the thing, dude. This is what I would believe, and it goes right back to the whole thing we're talking about with the spirits and the entities, is that we are fucking made, dude. Just the same way that we make cars and they run, right? The whole thing. Like, we're just a fucking... the human body is like a fucking... It's like a toy car made by, like, a spiritual
I
entity.
disagree on some level.
Okay, well, how about this? Okay, like the one strong argument for not killing yourself is that when you take the gun and when you pull the trigger and you're fucking dead, the first thing that happens is you're like, why am I still thinking? You know, like, why am I not...
Well, that's how can you confirm that's what happened?
Well, you can't confirm it, but my theory here is that the brain is not a generator of consciousness, right? It's not the place where consciousness. I think the idea is
it's not a brain function.
the brain
It's like a soul
the
function.
brain does not generate, or I should say, the brain does not transmit the consciousness. Rather, the
People
brain.
don't know. Yeah.
Right. My theory is that the brain is a receiver of consciousness. So as to say
That's
that, like,
interesting.
like when you
That's
pull
pretty cool.
when you pull the trigger and shoot your brain, it's kind of like taking a radio, right? You know, like this fucking thing right here, right? This iPad is not generating that image; it's
good.
receiving that
Yeah,
image.
that's very cool.
So if we take a hammer, if I take a hammer and I fucking smash this iPad, like right, like
Could just
which
turn
is
it
the analogy for taking a gun and
Okay.
shooting my head.
Yeah, okay.
If I smash this iPad to smithereens, if I
feed's
shoot
still
it with a
out there.
gun, that fucking
That's
That's
pretty
still
cool.
out there. So you're not killing the fucking signal. You're killing the receiver.
That's cool.
And so that's the soul.
Right.
The soul is what the signal that is being picked up by the receiver. So you can kill the.
That's a nice thought. I haven't thought about it that way before.
Yeah,
That's cool.
you kill the fucking receiver. You haven't fucking killed the signal.
That's very dope.
And so now what is the receiver? The body, the brain, right? It's a fucking toy.
It's a meat,
toy that
meat spaceship.
it's a toy, like a toy car, like whatever the kind of things we make, except the creator, and there are like the ultimate creator, God. There are fucking levels of spirits and dimensions, and there's so much going on that we don't know about. And
I hope so. It's a lot more interesting that way, isn't it?
there are creators that created us like fucking little vehicles. It's like a fucking car. We make a car, we get in the car, we drive it around. We're a fucking car that was made by a fucking low-level fucking spirit creator, and fucking they're in the car and they're driving around the meat car. And so in that sense, yeah, our creator fucking fucked up.
I'm still not totally convinced of this idea of like a creator, right? I do believe in higher power, like God is my sense of like there's just something so inexplicable about existing at all.
Sure.
It's just overwhelmingly impossible to even conceptualize like the thought of like existence versus non-existence. It's weird.
Well, in a philosophical sense, it's
But-
easier to prove that we don't exist than to prove that we do exist.
Right. But the thought of like a creator or like intelligent design, I think is easy to fall into that because it's so hard to conceptualize what evolution looks like over billions of years, right? Like a trial and error on the micro level over billions of years. It's like it's very possible. It's the explanation for how you start from a one-cell organism up to this super
Sure.
complicated. Like we just can't fathom that in the same way we can't fathom a god, because it's kind of just
Sure.
I mean, the universe is like 12 billion years. We've been
Right.
fucking evolving for like 25% of the whole history
Right.
of the whole existence of the universe.
Right. And I believe that we're not, like when they talk about ascension, and it's like we're just not plugged in, I think.
I hope so. I've always hoped that there's more because it's way more fucking interesting than you just
it's
die
like,
and you're gone.
And again, like with the toy
But
car,
that's also part of the charm, right? That's you
with
want to
the-
believe it.
with the car analogy, like what they say, we're not human beings having a spiritual experience. Rather, we are spiritual beings having a human
That's dope.
experience.
I really like
this
that.
is just
Yeah,
it's
that's
like it's
cool.
just like a little car,
That's dope.
and then the car fucking dies, and the spirit when this fucking physical incarnation dies, the spirit gets out of the car and fucking gets in some other car, and that other car might be a fucking plant or
Yeah.
whatever the case
Very
may
Buddhist.
be. For sure, but dude, there's like for me, I don't doubt any of that, dude.
Dude, I think that conviction's awesome. Sometimes I wish I was more.
And isn't there like
convict.
pretty undeniable proof of reincarnation,
No.
right?
No.
Well, that's a big statement. What is, in your opinion, proof of reincarnation?
Like little 2-year-old kids that have memories of previous lives and they just blur
Oh, I
it
haven't read
out.
about that.
Dude, I think Google undeniable proof of
Oh, fuck,
reincarnation.
here we go. Let's look into that later. We've been going for a long
I know
fucking
we
time.
should cruise.
Let's wrap it. That was, by the way, I think the best ghost story we've had. That shit was gnarly, dude.
That was a
Thank
whole
you for
ghost
sharing that with us.
theory.
Yeah, dude, I love all that.
That was honestly,
I have a whole chapter in my
It's-
book called Angels and Demons.
it was fascinating.
Well,
Absolutely
thanks, man.
fascinating. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah,
Steve-O,
dude.
you're a legend. Thank you,
Hey,
man, for
thank you,
coming.
bro.
I honestly
Thank
I'm a
was
huge fan of
fascinated.
both you guys.
Thank
It was
you.
an emotional roller coaster. I was glued. It was a great time, man. I really appreciate it.
I love it. I think I enjoy being a guest on podcasts more
Dope.
than the idea of having my own podcast.
It's a completely different experience. It is.
Yeah, there's no obligation. I feel
Yeah.
like I can really like.
There's a lot
But
of
but with that said, I do need anybody who is interested in my story to grab that fucking autographed book on my website.
Yep. Go support Steve-O
I'm
wherever
telling you,
he is.
my book didn't get a fucking 5-star rating because it sucks.
Get real.
Yeah, it's by definition the most guaranteed great book you can read.
By definition.
And I name drop like a motherfucker.
Go to steveo.com, right?
Steveo.com,
Get some fucking
yeah.
merch like a god
And
church.
there's little links for all the social media. And fucking scope out the YouTube and shit.
Likes, social media.
Follows.
Check him out. He's on the road doing stand-up.
That's right.
I can't wait for your big show you're working on. That's
Dude,
exciting.
I'm super. I would love to have you guys there, man.
I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm there. Are you kidding?
Fucking, I love you guys, man.
I love you, man. I can't believe it's so surreal
It's
that
surreal,
we're cross
like,
paths for me.
Yeah.
I was watching everything in Israel.
Even in
like-
Israel, man.
Oh, how about that?
Jackass and everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's
MTV was huge in Israel.
let's keep stamping out the fakes.
Yep.
Let's stamp them out.
Let's get him.
Let's fucking, get people to just fucking have some integrity.
Let's
Stop deceiving your followers. Show respect to the people, who click your links.
What can you do? You can never stop these people because there's so much money. There's so much audience for it. But at least we can have a laugh at them.
Well, yeah. Let's
That's the least we can do.
let's fucking
keep laughing.
Let's expose the fakes, dude.
Let's go. Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, man, for coming on.
thank
It was a
you,
great,
man.
great time.
Fuck yeah,
Thanks,
dude.
everyone, for watching.
Oh yeah, and let me know if you've been watching this. Fucking throw me a tweet.
Throw
Throw me
Steve-O
a tweet.
Yeah, tell him what
Throw
you
me a
thought.
tweet. I'd check it out. I'd check out my fucking mentions.
Just at Steve-O, right?
At Steve-O,
It
dude.
doesn't get easier. It's not
Throw me
more
a-
intuitive.
Throw me a tweet.
This episode is sponsored by Steve-O. Our
Yeah,
fourth
dude.
sponsor.
Throw me a fucking tweet, dude.
Guys, thanks for watching.
Thank you guys.
Love you. We appreciate you. And we will be
Bye.
seeing you guys. And on next Friday, we have...
Oh yeah,
Still in the works.
It's still in the.
You guys were going to freak out, but we've been talking to Jake Paul. You seen that shit? The Everyday Bro?
Wow.
We might have Jake Paul on the show.
Is he what is it? It's just another day,
Everyday
bro.
Bro with that Disney Channel flow. Yeah, so we might actually have Jake Paul on.
You mean the guy who's got Kendrick Lamar
Yep.
totally running for
Yeah, Kendrick
cover?
is fucking very worried about his career. Next up, left Kendrick.
It's just another day, bro.
It's every day, bro. All right, cut it. Thanks for watching,
Bye.
guys.